All right, welcome to my podcast. Even though I'm still a rookie, making rookie mistakes, hopefully y'all can let me uh let me put this on. Maybe you guys can forgive me. I'm gonna get right into it tonight, guys. It's kind of late, but kind of restless. So I'm a night bird, so yeah, I just want to kind of bring this subject back here that's on the screen. Hopefully, you guys can see this perfectly. Hopefully. Um, but yeah, so this blurry red or not red, but black streak, right? This weird looking thing, right? If you're like me, I watch a lot of content and I have for several years, and I've had a lot of time to look into things. Well, just here and there, um, these would pop up, like mainly during high altitudes or seen at decent altitudes, and also lower altitudes during um, eclipses. Right? These whatever these things are, they fly around in the sky, and um, yeah, if you've seen them, guys, this is something that's blown my mind because every single piece of footage has came, before AI. For me, the most important times I've seen this was like before the whole AI talk and everything. So I don't want to attribute this, even though it could be done, I guess. But I'll just stop talking about it. I want to show you guys if you have seen these types of events, or even like just kind of cloudy looking things, but most of the time they are way up high or they're moving kind of fast, right? So we've had to slow down a lot of footage. Me and a few people that have been witness to this or saved videos we've seen, and run it through some software, make sure it's not AI, that we can tell anyway. You but yeah, I'm gonna play this and just let me know what you've seen, what you haven't seen, what you think of it. Please give me feedback. I would appreciate that. So let me put this. I'm gonna put it on a bigger mode here, bigger screen. Bam. Okay, here we go.
So this is pretty creepy. In my last video, I had spoken about these black flying things. This individual was flying from Munich to Hamburg, and he looked out the window and he saw one of them, and he happened to take this photo. And this is possibly one of the best photos of them we have seen to date. This individual,
Yes,
Andrew
sir.
Porter, had replied to his post saying that he saw the exact same thing
Good.
while flying from Virginia to
Online
Minneapolis.
everywhere.
He also took
Hey, Mr.
photos.
Super.
And
Thanks
in
for being
one
here.
of the photos, I said it looked like it was stretching its arms. It looked like it had hands. But interestingly enough, somebody over in France.
So, I'm gonna pause it just because you came in, and I really want to tell you thanks for being here first off, and then second off, where have you seen it? Like, can you give me just a little bit of info? And I'm gonna mute this up, and I'm gonna let it play while we speak for a second. So I'm not being a rude host. Okay. So here we go. And I'm gonna jump back in the comments right here as well. So there we go. Okay, space octopuses. Yeah, right. Yes, like a dark plasma almost, like the creatures in their rival. Right, and I kind of attest this to like creatures that live down in very low altitudes, below sea level, right under the ocean, and yeah. So I see you there. I'm recognized you there. I'm gonna let this play while I talk a little bit though. So um, where was your kind of encounter, or if you've seen them everywhere online, is it usually one or the other, like really high, or in these high, like loose kind of, they could be loose farming, but because I see them out more on eclipses. Um, so I just wanted to say that. Yeah, I'll come back over to the comments here in just a second. Okay, let me see what he's saying right here.
Something like this actually is, I could
It's in
theorize,
France.
but I do
France.
find it very interesting that the April 8th solar eclipse had a lot of emotions going into it.
Yes, yes. There were people like having these epiphanies, like in their third eye was being opened, they say, and like they were just emotional and they didn't know why, right? And this was the one he actually mentioned, is the one they were talking about, the Coast Guard and like the Army or Navy, whoever, like the Homeland was being they were rolling these people out in cities where it was going to be where the eclipse was going to be able to be seen fully, right? Full eclipse. So they were focusing in on cities mainly, as that was what I remember. And I've seen at least 10 different videos, right? But yeah, I'm gonna read your comment here just because I'm curious. So yeah, lots of YouTube channels showing this footage. Okay, loads of us have seen them in our mind's eye. Yep. Okay, as well. They seem to shapeshift as well. Yes, that's why I kind of attribute it to plasma. Um, and I do think these were brought on, I think, through opening of something at they were using all of our loosh, right, during these eclipses to channel and into these machines, right, like a CERN machine or something. Because just out of the blue, like they were firing up these machines and they were firing rockets. If you guys remember, uh, they fired 3 rockets from NASA up into the lunar eclipses, right? So yeah, Stranger Things, right? Okay. I'm going to let it play a little bit more, guys. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I do want to have a conversation on it though. So I'm going to drop the link here in a few minutes too, if you guys want to come. All right, here we go. I'm going to make the screen big, and I won't be able to see your comments right now, but chat amongst yourselves, and yeah.
With a lot of negative ones because people thought something bad was going to happen. And while these negative emotions were pouring into it, CERN was firing up the Large Hadron Collider, saying that specifically they were looking for dark matter. Then we had NASA firing off 3 rockets called Apep or Apophis, which is the
Mm,
ancient Egyptian serpent, which is the
yeah.
equivalent to Satan. While all this was happening, we would see one of these flying things above Texas caught on camera during the
Yes.
eclipse. So I
Yes.
wouldn't doubt one bit that these ritualists, NASA, CERN, and so forth, summon something over because it's just a little too coincidental for me. CERN looking for dark matter, NASA firing off rockets named after serpents, and just what happens to appear on that day is one of these dark serpent.
Like a dragon, almost like a, I don't know, because it doesn't look like these cylinder-shaped technologies that we see flying around, right? Or that's been seen in several countries over the years. It's more malleable, like it looks as if it would wiggle as it went through the air. Um, and also, one question I wanted to ask while we're watching this: what is the eclipse exactly? Is this the dark orbs that have been recorded before as well? They're kind of see-through, but at the same time, if it's seen at the right angle, right, it's going to be dark. And there's many uh, representations of this up on the walls of like different countries as well in their lore. But here we go. Let's watch.
Like flying entities. Then, after that day, people started to catch them on camera in multiple locations. Here are just a few videos out of many.
It's fast. Hmm. And you guys notice that these things are being caught in like pretty clear conditions, right? Like, well, I wouldn't say this background, but where these things aren't. It isn't like it doesn't seem to be something under um man's control, right, in a way that it wants to be some type of public, right, where they alter it, and you barely see it right in the right way. So this is different, moves different, right? Okay. Seem to be around, yeah, high energy atmospheres.
But moving on, I have never seen anything like this before.
Ooh. Mm. Okay. Wow, they're really moving with the ether there, aren't they? Look like
This was
they're
recorded
in a
in
sieve.
Pennsylvania a couple days ago. This woman hears 3 knocks on her door. She goes outside and sees all these birds in a very weird formation. It looks like they're writing something, forming some kind of letters. They don't even look like they're flapping their wings. They just look like they're gliding or hovering back and forth,
Mhm.
going between each other. As somebody born and raised in New Jersey for over 20 years, even been in Pennsylvania, never seen anything like this before, especially during the winter months. But moving on to something more disturbing, it would seem like the digital ID is coming to Alaska, and this all ties into their My Alaska app, which basically, as of right now, does a broad range of government services, anywhere from applying for Alaska permanent fund dividends to accessing DMV records and retirement benefits. But this new proposal will dramatically expand that functionality. This great video comes from NDT Plus. He breaks down what is essentially coming.
A digital ID system for Americans is now being rolled out, and Alaska is becoming the first testing ground. This ties in with changes being made to the state's My Alaska digital identity system.
Hey guys. Okay, okay. I do have I feel a right or a obligation, right, to try to be urgent about these types of things that we've all been seeing, slowly kind of unfold in other countries. Um, Now we're seeing it here, and I really think, guys, if we if people don't really start trusting each other and weeding out the bad seeds and starting to take this as urgent, right? Matters that we really need to start getting together on, and not being afraid. Like there's certain people that have been here for so long, and we're fucking veterans at this stuff, right? Like finding out and getting the word out, trying to not fall for psyop type behavior and stuff like that, right? So I feel a need to just be um, urgent. I'm going to be showing a few more videos while we go through these things. But this is new. This is my first time seeing this one, so I wanted to bring it live and you know talk about it. But here we go.
Which is now being interwoven with artificial intelligence and payment functions. Now, according to a document from Alaska's Department of Administration's Office of Information Technology, as obtained by Reclaim the Net, it says the state is considering implementing agentic artificial intelligence models within My Alaska application to enhance service delivery to users of the application. So, what does that actually entail? Well, one part would be to allow AI to complete applications, do eligibility checks, and complete, quote, multi-step government service transactions on behalf of users. But the
Mm.
plan actually goes further.
And you guys, I just now got done with some research. Like, don't know me, I'm a research alcoholic, right? Or an alcoholic, a research aholic, I guess you could say. And I do sometimes drink, but anyway, um, not an alcoholic. But I would like to try to get this out as quick as I can. Like I'm gonna drop the link to the work that like I usually do, and see what y'all think about it, and see what can be done. Like as far as try to get it some kind of legislation going, against these types of encroaching things on our constitution, even though it's being shredded and it's been being shredded, right? But if we don't really start taking some kind of pushback, I don't know. So I've got a lot of research and things that about the ethics and laws and governance of what they're trying to do with Agenda 2030 and how they're rolling it out, right? And how we're going to have to intervene somehow. But anyway, I just thought of that, so I'll put it in the description and stuff here.
Than this, they're looking to integrate biometric authentication. Think facial recognition, fingerprinting, and also have smart wallet integration in the app as well. Now, look, this has some benefits. It really does, mainly when it comes to efficiency, ease of use, especially security. It can do a lot of good to get rid of, theft and fraud, for example.
They also are ramping it up on biosurveillance as well. And yes, smart does swarms There's something called Terra Swarms that everyone should look up, right? And link it to DARPA. That's all I can say about it right a second. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah, there's biosurveillance guys that, what's in the chemtrails, what we've been breathing in, what's in our skin is it's part of a bigger system. Let's put it that way. And I've got a lot of research. I'm going to drop a lot of things you guys, I hope, take to heart and really, take serious. So here we go.
But this also represents a problem of just overall consolidation. All of your info, your biometrics, your financial information, potentially even like your internet activity, your digital footprint, all
medical 4.0, it's here. Telehealth. I mean, guys, it's getting real.
collected in a single place and then monitored with an all-seeing artificial intelligence system working for the government that's going to look for anything and everything that's off. But this plan in Alaska, it's also raising concerns over potential abuses that have been seen in countries that actually already have similar systems. We can look, for example, at the Chinese Communist Party's social credit system, one of the worst case examples we see in the current state of the world. In China, under the communist regime, the system gives every single person a good citizen rating or a bad citizen rating.
I hear you, brother.
Get too low, and you even lose your ability to make payments in the digital currency. And because of that, you get to be homeless because you can't rent a home, you can't buy food, businesses won't hire you. The new gulag is being pushed out of the system itself. That is what it looks like. And hopefully that's not where this is leading to, but they are currently rolling out digital ID systems tied in with financial systems right here in the United States.
And the thing is, it's not just going to be Alaska, but it's going to be every state in the country. Because if you notice, all these states have a My application very, very similar to Alaska. And they're all going to say the exact same thing. They're doing it for convenience and security. But it's all about control and compliance. If you don't comply, they will shut your app off. You will not have access to certain things in the future, basically kicking you out of society until you comply. What we basically see right now happening in China. But talking about China, here's something very interesting that has come out, a interesting quote unquote coincidence. On December 25th, Chinese cargo ship packed full of modular missile launchers emerges. China has packed a deck of a medium-sized cargo ship with 60 containerized vertical launch cells, radar, and close-in weapons, essentially turning a cargo ship into a combatant. This article continues to say that this cargo ship, which is a weapon in disguise, was revealed out of China this Christmas for the first time ever. Or was it? Because I remember something very similar being revealed on the very prophetic 2026 Economist magazine cover. Yeah, let's go back to that. We can see a cargo ship with launchers firing a missile at the United States 250th anniversary birthday cake. Yeah, these covers never fail. And right above the birthday cake, we can see a raised fist with a handcuff around it. And in my own opinion, I take that to mean after this attack, we're going to go ahead and see a loss of freedom, which might mean the digital ID in its full form. But moving on to some bizarre news, we are all aware that humans have a certain amount of senses. The traditional 5 senses are sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Some others out there will say that, well, humans have more than that, but I'm talking about the traditional 5. But news is coming out and saying that scientists have discovered that humans do not have 5 senses. They have many more than that, and you won't believe the number of senses that scientists say we have. Maybe you will. Go ahead and comment below the number. I'll go ahead and give it a second. But yes, they are saying we have the magic number. We have exactly 33 senses. You cannot make it up. You cannot make it up even if you wanted to. Reading this article from Vice.com, other news agencies are talking about this as well. But the article goes on to say that increasingly, scientists argue that humans may have dozens of senses, maybe even up to the free people number. So they're getting this information from the University of Glasgow, and according to their findings, balance, body position, internal body awareness, temperature, pain, and even the feeling that a limb belongs to you all operate as distinct sensory systems. But here's the even more bizarre part, and you can see this on the university's website. It's an ongoing project. They don't know all the senses that exist. They don't list them, but they know for certain that 33 exist, even though they don't know what they are. If that's not telling, I don't know what is. If you have seen my last video on Seconds of Horror, it just feels like as of 2025, we are in a soft disclosure phase of them saying that something else is among us that's not human. And when it comes to reptiles, it's very well known that
Yeah.
reptiles have way more senses than the traditional five. And given the fact that the free people number is involved in this story, what are they really trying to say here? But on a side note, talking about
Okay, okay. I don't want to watch that whole thing there. I do want to show you some of the stuff that, like I say, I've been researching, and let me go back here. Instead of there, I need to go. No, I can't get over here. Maybe I can just make this bigger, and then I'll come over here and show you guys. Well, I can just close it, make that one small. Okay, and just make this right here. Okay, cool. So about I've been looking at, since we were talking about things in the sky, right? So this is down a little bit of, it's down lower. It's down at the almost the end of the research I've been doing a lot on, but I'm looking at the history of like what the infrastructure they give us is, like physical observatories, right? That to look up in the heavens, right? And to look at the moon. And mainly that's what I was looking at the most about what has changed. There was something called um, Operation Operation Moonblink, right? And also there's a project, right, that NASA does. It's called Project Portfolio, and it's locations on the ground of what is called the physical, where they do the faking of the ISS, where they're on the little chains, and they're in what's called a mixed reality, or visual or virtual I don't know. They just mix things, right? But they also have the observatories. Well, when I seen what they did with Operation Moonblink back in the 70s, right? And they started putting all these locations across from the West Coast to the East Coast. There was 11 main station observatories, right? It's called Operation Moonblink. And what they did is they put all of this great equipment, and let's say augmented reality capabilities at each one of these stations. Now, you know how they have a website where you can go and watch the ISS go, and you only have a couple of minutes in so far across the country, and people go out there and they see what looks like a little hologram, right? Goes across, that's way up high in the um, where they dump all the smart dust and chemtrails way up. Well, they also have something called just dumping of these aerosols, right? And these aerosols, they make a great background for something to be projected onto. So if you're following me, what I'm saying is, I think these observatories right here, the physical observatories of Operation Moonblink, what they did is they upgraded each one of the telescopes in each one of these locations. Okay. So what they were basically doing, I think, and I'm pretty sure of, was they were testing their capabilities of projection onto a type of intelligent metamaterials. Okay, this is what they call smart dust. And it got better and better over the years. And they use photonics, right? These highly advanced photonics and optogenetics. Okay, and also malography. They watched and they studied how the eyes work, and right, what would stand out more to the eye, right, and how would the brain react to seeing what on TV they say that is a real thing up there, right? And a man is in it, or men are in it. They're going, jetting across at 17,500 miles an hour. Okay, so take that into consideration of what Operation Moonblink did, and where these locations, what's called Project Portfolio. Okay, and I've did a lot of research. I'm going to give to you guys, because I want y'all to make up your minds, and please give me feedback if you are interested in this kind of stuff. Because what I did was I watched the history and how it progressed, right? What did they upgrade? What did they, where's the, what trail did they leave for me to follow, right? And see the progression of also simulations that NASA has and the military have the best real time, like you can stuff thousands of people at one time and it's nanoseconds to get across the earth, right? It's basically real time. Okay, you're basically locked. Your energy and your digital twin is capable of going into these environments, right? And they just make it better and better. So basically what's going on is I looked at the physical observatories and then the progression of the receptor concepts, or reflector, I'm sorry, concepts of what they can reflect off of up there. Okay, and how these 11 stations are handled, right, in a professional manner where anybody at any time can go to app and follow the ISS across the sky. But once it gets to the horizon and you can no longer see it, then supposedly you can do the math and you go downrange out on the ground, right, 100 and something miles, and somebody else, as soon as it disappears for you on your horizon, it's coming up on their horizon. So it's genius, right? But there's 11 places now. I don't want to say too much, but I will say it's in my research, right? This is just America. What they can do, they'll have people out in the ocean that'll be able to see this little, thing going across the sky, because there's other stations. Okay, I want to make that clear. Operation Moonbleak was, as far as I know, and all I could find is only. Let me go up a little bit. Is only through the U.S. So whatever else, ESA, like the European Space Agency, Japan, China, however, Russia, however they did it, they're pulling it off as well. All right. Now, the reflector concepts is something that you guys will love. And then it goes from that to nowadays simulation platforms. And it's only simulation platforms. Okay. I want to make that clear. There's nothing real about the ISS up there. Now, there is something called Project Star Wars, okay, and Stargate, that they have some plasma stations up there, let's say, high altitude platforms, low Earth orbit. Okay. Nothing up there like millions and trillions of miles away. You can't do it. You just can't. Okay. Now, how how um how good would that be if that they pulled it off, and they do it all the time? All right, here we go. Let's look at this period here. So the timeline, right, cross-referenced with lots of things, let's just say. So 64 and 66, that's the Moonblink. The infrastructure type is physical observatories, and the institutional roles were these people here. Okay, and you go down, you just follow it down. You look at these types of things they pulled off: Operation Lion, Project Argus, at Astronet, Apollo TLP. Okay, and then we got this. We got these companies here, which are NGOs, non-government organizations. They're the ones that do all of. They get that Black Project money, and they do all the research and development over the years, and they pull the shit off. However the fuck how much it costs, who cares? It's about what they've done to our fucking minds, and they got people believing it. Everyone buys it. Okay, so let's go down. So these are the scalability and flexibility and integration, heterogeneous, right, and homogeneous data and models. You guys will enjoy that. Trust me, I've got lots of it. And limitations is a reality gap, basically, right? That's how they do it. They have a gap within reality and your digital twin and the digital twin of the world, the system of systems, right? And listen, SIMNet, SIMNET, all right? And then you got, of course, ARPA, DARPA, and the ARPANET, right? That's the older one. But then you have the intelligence gathering, surveillance, reconnaissance side of DARPA, and the intelligence agencies have some amazing shit that they use, right, to keep us all confused at the end of the day. Now, let me get over here to a couple of these. Let me go back down. Sorry, guys. And I'm going to come back if you guys want to jump on. I'm going to drop the link, right? And I've got some things put up right over here. You can see on the left here. I'm gonna change the screen there, and this is the type of professional shit they put together. Okay, to get people to think, oh, they're just, they're training with their robotics and their autonomous systems and their the interface and the how they use the connection and make that reality gap, and they get people's minds, they put a gap in it, right? And then they throw in all of this BS, right, to over the years, and I'm sure they put a few trillion over the years just in the keeping people convinced about the moon, right, and what we all know to be fake. Um, and we'll look at more of that here in just a second. Let me minimize this, and I really want you guys if anyone's up this late, I'd really like people's input on, because I got a New Year's resolution and I want to start really getting some work done that the genie. And listen, I'm just putting two and two together from other brilliant people. Okay, I'm nobody, but I am somebody that is fucking concerned because it's not getting better. I mean, there is this beautiful space that we all have within us that we want to see in our communities, right? We can't do it nationally. We have to do it locally and start fucking just getting people the truth and let them unpack it in their own time, because if you try to force this on people, it doesn't end up well. Okay, it only causes arguments. But let me come over, where am I at there? Is it Google? Oh, there we go. Google. Oh, okay, go here. Sorry guys, I'm handicapped. But okay, it's right here. There we go. Okay, great. Now let me restore that. Okay, make this big. Okay, I'm going to drop the link. Whoever is here, come on up. Don't be shy. Don't bite. I promise. Let me see where I'll go to here. No, I'll go here. There we go. Copy. Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to drop it. Oh, listen. I'm going to be on for a couple of hours. So if you guys come on just in your good time, see if I can click this. And I promise it will be a great conversation because I have a lot that I'm sure you guys are going to be interested in. And I'm going to go through it and take my time. Right. So just come on up. Hey, fam, serious. What's up? Serious business. It is serious business tonight. Yes. Good laughs, but you're more than welcome. Like I say, I will keep this screen on so I can see you guys. Now let me add in, not this one, but I'm gonna have to do it this way, I guess. Here, and then I'm gonna have to close out. No, I'm gonna keep that one up. We'll just do it like this. I can make it work. But yeah, welcome, serious business, and whoever else is here. But yeah, let me keep on where I was going with this conversation here. Okay, so when we talk about the first stage of let's call it Operation NASA BS, okay, when it started in the 60s, their plan was, let's upgrade, right? Since we're gonna film this and we're gonna make this shit work that we went to the moon, let me first upgrade things so we can get a good eye on, if we do fire a real rocket up, like we can keep an eye on it all the way until it goes over out of sight where people can't see it anymore, right? So that was the first. It's called Operation Moonblink. Let me go there. Okay, and this is what they put up basically. Okay, let me go down here. Yeah, this is gonna. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is the merged infrastructure. Okay, and I will put out the timeline one more time, and then we'll go down here and I'll walk through it. step by step. And this is how they fooled the world about the moon landing and about ISS. And because it's not 250 miles up. It may be 150, but I think that there may be something hollow up there of like a shell, like something that's super lightweight that could merge, right? Could quantum lock in the cold environment, right? And they just find the resonant frequency, right, of that object, and then just match it to the surrounding atmospheric, that its resonance as well. Like, how is it oscillating up there with the it's a plasma gradient, I think. And then when it gets super cold, and you have something like aluminum, you could easily have it up there, right? Okay, but anyway, I think that, and then gradually, yes, they have perfectly got it down now with as far as simulation, and how we see what we're seeing through, right? And what this hologram is being projected against, like the background medium, right? And so I think this is 64 was Moonblink. I got a beep here. I got a beep. Is someone trying to come on? If you're trying to come up, put your thumbs up or something. That way I can see comments, notes, people. I really don't know how to. Okay, there we go. Backstage. All right, Mr. Super. I see you, brother. Now let me hit the arrow. Get backstage. And okay, here we go. Bam. Okay. You may have that. There you yes, sir. Hey man. Glad you came up.
How you doing, man?
Listen, I
Yeah,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not good. I'm doing great. Yeah. And yourself?
Doing better, man. I was down for like 5 weeks. I think I'm finally coming out of it, man. Last couple days,
Brother, I'm
not so bad.
happy.
Like I can
That's
see
great.
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
I was just about
Hey
to
man, that's
crash,
better
man, and
than down and
I
out.
saw your stream.
Huh?
I saw your stream
Yep.
pop up, and it was set for yesterday at 11:30. I'm like, oh well, he's running late, and I was
Yeah,
just about
yeah,
to
it
shut
was,
the phone up when you started. So,
yeah. Yeah, I was figuring, I was like, man, how do I really want to do this? And then when I came across the little black squigglies, I was like, fuck it, this is what I'm going to start with. And then, I'll build up, what's in our skies, like what, with dumping all this stuff, metamaterials and smart dust and stuff, I think things are ramping up. And
I
yeah,
think I think
yeah,
we're in a place where we need to speculate. We need to like
yeah,
be true to ourselves and admit how little we know, but at the same time we're the intuitive ones and we should be speculating all kinds of things right now.
absolutely. Yeah, man.
So
I'm going to make this quick one. Mhm.
let's
Go ahead.
start with the octopuses and then we'll do a little bit on eclipses, and I probably won't stay on for long, but let's just talk for a minute,
Uh-huh.
okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go back here and I'm going to rewind it a little bit and just mute it up. All right, let me come back here and I'll just let it play and just tell me what's on your mind about it, and I'll give you my thoughts as well.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm glad you put it on the screen for newcomers to at least see what it is that we're talking about. If you can make it like bigger on the screen too,
Make it a
even
little
if you got
bigger.
to get rid
Yeah,
of us.
yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because it's
There we
blurry
go.
footage at best, anyways. For the most part,
Mhm.
there's some clearer shots like this. Like this is probably the clearest of all the shots.
Well, there we go.
So
I'm gonna.
you're gonna find that most people will just write like that one right there, right? People are
Mhm.
going to just write that off because they don't understand. They'd have no reference point to gauge that against. I mean, what is that? Is that living or is that technology? Is that projected? What are we looking at here?
Mhm. I'm gonna go right back to the beginning as well, just because I think there was a couple of really clear shots there. I think. Go back
And
to
I
that.
really left like one of the options out because it makes too many people run for the hills. But like the fourth option is it completely supernatural in origin?
I think so. Absolutely. And at the same time, I think after I seen a few over like 2 year period, and I saw the similarity, then there was maybe one or two in there that I think maybe someone was trying to make to get views or something, because it did look as real,
Yeah,
but I didn't see it in this
yeah,
bunch. Um,
yeah.
and
So every
I mean
topic that we look
the
into
movement
now,
is different. Mhm.
there's muddy waters like that. Like you're gonna find some that are so fake that you're gonna just want to push the whole topic to the side. But remember, that's
Yes.
what their goal is. So if you're smarter than that, look around before you give up on any topic. There's probably some realistic footage out there somewhere.
Yeah. And listen, if
You
you're
know?
anything like me, guys, whoever's listening, like in the future or now, I'll watch a lot of things. So if you're like me and you want to go back and make a video later, just remember, save your clips, save the ones you see, so you can, go back and reference them, because I go through so much material. But so yeah, as just a word of advice, so you can um, have stuff to go back and look on, and so you don't
Well,
just write it off like.
I can tell you this much from personal experience. Okay, from what I've seen, from what my security cameras can see in infrared light mostly, but sometimes in regular light as well. They see into spectrums we cannot see. And in those spectrums, I have seen so many things that are completely beyond explanation, but they move and act like living beings. Just like to me, that octopus looking thing in the sky moves like a living sentient being, right? But
Mm.
like the forms can be so completely different. RG, I mean, you might think I'm a little crazy, but I'll put it out there, man. I've seen things that look like little, like old-fashioned ships with a little oars coming out, right? Like there's a team inside rowing these things. I've seen them with like a
Okay.
single wing down both sides, sort of like manta ray moves, right? So the whole wing ripples as they move through space. I've seen them that look like insects. I've seen them that look like fairies. I've seen them mimic other items like
Mhm.
lampposts and Japanese pagodas. I mean, they can take many, many forms. If you even like look at the ones that you're showing on screen, they
Mhm.
almost like at the tail end of them, they turn into a powder, like they disintegrate into a
Yes. Yes.
non-reality,
Well, I seen
right?
one that looked like smoke. Yeah, up in a plane.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
say
Keep going.
it's a very a familiar characteristic like smoke, but I
Okay.
wouldn't
Yeah.
describe it as smoke. It just looks, that's the closest thing that we have to compare it to.
Yes. Okay. And this is why I say it gives me the feeling and the look of plasma. This is because dusty plasma is especially will clump together in ways that just look foreign to us. And I've seen
Yeah.
that in the higher elevation shots, not lower elevations, but I also seen it if you remember um, these they're super fast, like, and they're wiggly. They wiggle to go through the atmosphere. Have you seen those?
Yeah,
Like super
yeah,
fast, and
even on the, see, everything is fractal too. So this happens on scales
yeah,
small enough, like down to the size of a flea, and it goes all the way up to
yeah,
things that now I've heard described that like horizon
above
to
our heads, like
horizon, the
big.
entire freaking
Yeah.
sky. So I mean, size is
Now
not a
some of
thing.
these,
Hardness is,
I
listen,
think,
listen, RG,
yeah, okay,
hardness is not a thing to these things either. I've seen them go through concrete, steel, glass, lit live light bulbs, people's heads, like physiology, so that
damn,
nothing affects these things, dude.
right. Yes, and that shows me the gradient of these things. Some at times look just
Well,
more rigid, you know, and then
it shows
sometimes
me
they're
that
like you said.
things are much more like as described as like frequency and channels, if you will. Dimensions are like that, right? So it's like a layer cake. Everything is layered on top of each layer, but everything in a layer really can only interact with its own layer, but it can be observed from neighboring layers, sort
You
of
do
like
you
that,
you have a
like
name?
hearing two radio stations, right? You hear one in the background because it's near, even though it's tuned differently. It's stronger, so you get a feedback or a glimpse.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think these might be tied into the black goo, just a different density?
I think
Let me
they're
look.
all
Let me type it in.
similar in that they are independent entities and that they can shapeshift to like great degree, right? You know, the analogy to an octopus is very, very close because they can change size, shape, color, texture, everything. So that thing you see flying around in the sky could render itself as black goo.
What did I do? Dang it. Sorry about that. I just messed it up.
I'm going to step
Pulled
away
up
for
the
just a
coding.
minute and grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna find a little video. In the sky. There we go. SKY. Let me see what this brings up. Okay,
SAR
so
2
this
video generation.
to uncover plasma drones spotted in the sky now. Now this here also, I don't know if you've seen this one, but I put this on my X account like last year when I first seen it. Uh, but I don't know if you've seen this, but this is something that's obviously pulling energy from from the plasma sun. If you watch, you'll see the outline here, and this right here in high def is a toroidal like tornado. But you see, it's like it's drawing energy in, and then when it's had enough, it just drops out and it detaches. But on a high def, you can see this super good. This is very real. I ran this through a lot of softwares. Have you seen this one yet?
I'm
Okay,
back.
you're back. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to step
Have
away
you
for a
seen this
second.
one?
I'm back. What's that?
Have you ever seen what's on the screen here? Let me blow it back up a little bit, make it
Yeah,
bigger.
I would have to have it big. I'm looking at it. I'm blind and I'm looking at a phone screen, so that's the thing.
I got you. All right, let me make it a little bigger. Okay, so this was I noticed this one about a year ago, year and a half ago. Well, no, actually, yeah, about a year and a half, I guess is a good estimate. But you see the outline here that I'm making with my mouse? See the curvature to
I
this?
see your mouse pointer. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to restart this, or I'm going to let it play through a couple times. And what you're going to see is um, you'll see three little tentacles come out, or let's say forces. Something out of this was forcing itself down here into the this part of the plasma, sphere above our heads. And what it looks like, it's three little tentacles that come out, but they twist and turn toroidally, right? Like a tornado into one tentacle. And when it gets enough energy here, it like detaches and flies off. So I want you to kind of see this a couple times.
I might even describe that vortex that we're seeing there as a tentacle of a sort.
Well, watch this now. And, and as the sun turns, or as the energy there vortex turns, I guess it just detaches for it. It just kind of forces it over. But let me
It's
go
a
back
lot
up on it.
like a plasma globe, those little toys that we can play with, right?
Right.
It
Yes. And
forms, it
and
looks
I do.
solid, and it disappears as quickly as it arrives.
Hmm. Yes, and I see the geometry, right? It's not it's not morphing and moving. It seems to be pretty stable and keeping a good half a dome there shape, I guess you could say. And over here, it just
Mm-hmm.
merges in with the black background. So, but
Yeah.
I wish I had the high definition version, but the high definition version shows. Let me just pause it. Here. So, okay, so right here from this obvious line here, the sun, it'll come out and you can see it gradually fade off in strength, right? But also right here, there's a nice defined line that goes all the way up here. And that's why you can't see the rest of this, because it seems as if our sun is it's a transformer of a sort that is in
Right.
a different energy dimension, right? That
Yep.
another, let's say, frequency that we don't see, right? Infrared or something.
Yep.
And then as its strength fades off, you can tell there's the actual part that goes back into, like it's going back into its, it's only half of it was in the realm of the transformer, which was really interesting to me. So anyway, I wanted to show you
Actually,
that.
I've said that for a very long time. It acts more like it's if you know how transformers work, you've got a primary and a secondary coil, that there's no physical connection between the two, but the electromagnetic field from one reaches the other. And I've always said that that's kind of how the sun seems to act, like it's half of a transformer, and the main half, the primary, the driving half, isn't here in this realm. Or
Yeah,
it could
that's what I
be,
think.
like the two places that make sense to me is completely outside this realm, and the sun that we
Yeah,
see is an observed sun. It's a focal point, like the half of a transformer. And the other thing
yeah.
that makes sense is it could be at the center of the realm. I think there's so many answers at the center of this physical place.
Yes, yes, yes. I think that too, buddy, and I'm glad you said that, because I feel as if that this torus there's a southern, like, there's like a donut torus, but then there is the actual spinning of the top of the torus and the bottom down where
Certainly.
the North Pole is, right, where Mount Meru would be, and that's the
And just
smallest
like,
part, I think. Right. And then the translation of the movement of the stars, right? That outer toroidal donut is keeping everything contained, but it also allows the movement of the center force, the centrifugal and centripetal forces, you know, and that's why I think the northern magnetic, point moves around a bigger 26,000 year cycle, and when that movement happens, it'll happen more dramatically as it gets, let's say, um, how do I say it? The bottom part would be the movement of the magnetic center, but the vortex up top is so wide that um uh uh what's his name, the name of the North Star, Polaris, always stays there up top, but at the bottom, things move and melt as that movement happens, because you're moving the sun and moon with it. You see what I'm saying? It has to move
yeah.
in the sky, the sun and moon, but the stars are stationary, I think, like they just turn with the force. You see what I'm saying? What's your thoughts on that?
Wouldn't there be like an eye, like in a storm, in the very center of that vortex too?
Yeah, well, I think it's caused by the apex part of the dome, the very center of the dome itself,
Yeah.
or the force field that is the dome. Is the driving force of keeping, and when that moves, if that ever moves, right, that would cause some pretty major reset destruction stuff, I think. If the dome itself is cracking and moving and grooving at some point, you know, and maybe that's the destruction part of it. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just my thoughts.
I have pointed out to people before that, if you take a magnifying glass on a bright sunny day and you focus it down on a leaf or a piece of paper to create a fire, that little spot, man, if you really look at it objectively,
Despite his
that little tiny
astrophotography,
spot,
he ain't seen nothing yet.
All right, let me mute that. Ah, goodness.
that, that little
Damn it.
tiny
I'm no
point
good at
of
this. Sorry.
focus
Hmm.
actually looks like the sun itself. It just looks like a mini sun.
Okay. Can you give me a little more? Go a little more in detail there?
Sure. The
Huh?
point of that is that you can take the energy from the sun and focus it down into a tiny point, and there's a fractal exact copy of the sun, which is why it catches that paper on fire, because you've created a new sun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. The fractal nature. I'm big into that too.
And here's some interesting food for thought that I really hadn't kind of played with in my mind until just the other day. Sav mentioned that you can't run a solar panel from a fire. In other words, you can't have a bonfire.
Sorry.
You can't have a bonfire and put a solar panel next to it and get any energy out of a fire. And the reason why I never checked or tested that before is because when I first had the thought of what types of light would generate electricity, I tested solar power, and I also tested artificial lights. Well, those artificial lights were powered by electricity, and if the sun's electrical, then both of those are electrical sources, and it makes sense that they could generate electricity. But guess what? Fire or light from a fire, even like a Coleman lamp or whatever, because the fire is the cause, not electricity, would not generate electricity in a photocell. And so that shows you that the sun is electrical in nature by itself.
Yeah. And there's a big difference, between fire and like ether, or fire and plasma. It's maybe a modality of plasma or electrical forces. But
Right, but it's
that would make
important, I
sense.
think,
Yeah.
for us to keep in mind that there are different types, completely different classifications of light.
Yes.
There's light that
Makes sense.
begins as electricity, and there's also light that begins as fire, and there may be light that begins
It
as
has to
other
be
things that we
carbon-based,
don't know
right?
yet.
It has to be something
What's that?
that would have it would have to be some carbon-based to create fire, like a wood, or or even iron, or something that had carbon in it. Is different than the electrical beginnings, right? It's a plasmatic uh, uh, modality,
But I
right?
have no idea what other
Magnetic.
types of materials could begin some sort of an energetic process, and would that be electrical in nature or not? I don't know, dude. Now,
Yeah, right. That's a good way to think about it, though. Keep that open-ended, you know. Okay,
yeah, I'm
let's
only
see.
beginning to dive deeper into it. I'm just bringing it up as a point of, contention. We should keep that in mind. There's different types of light.
Right on. Yes, sir. I'm looking for this one. I just don't see it. I don't want to stay stuck on this one little thing, but interstellar gargantuan black hole. I don't know about. I don't know, man. It looks a little fake. Sky whales. Okay, what actual aliens might look like? What do you think? It says topics more than 3:30. Okay, it says sky whales, but I don't think it's talking about the same thing we are. Maybe it isn't. What do you think? Should we
I don't
watch a
know if
little
you
bit?
follow the channel Jeff Snyder too, but he covers a lot of what he calls sky dragons, and they're pretty much on par with what we're looking at there. But a lot of them take a hard form, like a triangular craft,
Okay.
rather than the
Say that name one
octopus
more time.
form that we're seeing here, like less organic in
Mhm.
most of them.
And you said his name was
Jeff Snyder too,
Jeff Snyder. Okay, check him out.
and the
I always like,
SNYDER.
always like new people. Uh,
He's
SNY
done.
or
He's
I.
probably done like more research into the plasma fires and the trees burning from the insides and all
Oh
of that
yeah.
nonsense. Like, yeah, La Palma and
You think that was?
Paradise
You
and
think
all
that
that.
was a? You think they picked that inside of the tree? Because he was also saying he was
I
big
think
into
like the
NASA,
metallic
and they
metallic particulates play a role in that, and then they could be activated either by microwave energy, or
yeah.
if the Earth becomes like charged, inversely charged, I guess you would say, and energy starts coming up out of the ground rather than like using the ground to sink excess energy. It can come up the other way, which would indicate, or which would follow some of the things that we're seeing, like the Paradise thing, and
So it would make
you're
the
seeing
ground
like
opposite of neutral
telephone
or
poles
negative.
all charged by the ground. You're seeing like hit and miss fire where you have a spot on one side of a log that's completely burned and right next to it on the other edge it's completely not. You know what I mean? It's not the way fire
Yeah,
behaves, right?
right. They say
We're
spell
also
that name
seeing a
one
lot
more
of
time
high
there.
temperature melts. We're seeing vehicles where the entire engine block has melted, all the glass is melted out, and they look like they're 100 years old
Yeah,
because
yeah, 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 yeah.
the
Those
electrolysis
were
causes instant rust, man. So they look like they're ancient, and they were brand new vehicles.
yeah, and this was common in the fires in Maui and California and also in Chile. And then the blue
In La Palma,
paint kind of
all of those. Yeah,
you remember
yeah,
they were,
all of that.
yeah, they melted the inside of the block was melted, like all the aluminum was just like, yeah, that was kind of a telltale
Even
sign
the
of,
mag
something
wheels,
was
like if
hitting it from above.
the
you know.
difference in melting point, even between like just soft aluminum and magnesium, is quite significant. And the mag wheels were melted and running down the roads, man.
Yeah, so I spell that guy's name one more time. I got Jeff. I just didn't get the last name.
Snyder,
Snyder's
Snyder.
right. DER Snyder. Sorry, a little slow, but
And then it's
Snyder
two.
two, right?
It's probably like I would just search on that, but it's probably got an II or a number 2 after it.
Yeah, this thing jumped around, man. My computer acts funny when I do these live streams. I don't know why. Uh,
At
can
least
you
your
see this?
audio's not cutting up this time. It sounds nice and clear.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, I tweaked in the headphones, the JBL there. Actually, a pretty good pair, so it works better. I don't have to hold anything.
All
See,
right.
Jeff Snyder. Yeah, because I noticed when I went back and looked at a lot of my videos that it yeah it didn't sound very good. Snyder, Snyder, and you said
Yep.
two, Snyder, two,
Yeah.
number two.
I don't know if it's I. It might be Roman numeral II. I don't remember. I would just search the Jeff Snyder and see if it shows up.
Yeah, the Santa psyop defeats Christianity. Yeah, let me do the I. And uh, and is this his? Yeah, it's got a tree, so that's probably him, right?
It's probably that second, the little one. I think
Purple
that
one.
might be
Okay.
it.
Is this guy him?
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, it
Okay,
should be
cool.
it. Look for anything in there that says like Sky Dragons or anything like that rather than the fire stuff.
Right on. The eighth wonder of the world,
'Cause
plasma fire.
that's our topic. Oh, it's worth mentioning that that first video that you started with the black octopus in the sky, those were taken
Yeah.
from altitude in an aircraft. They weren't taken from the ground.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I always like different perspectives, on these subjects because I'm just looking for people that I've seen around quite a bit and they're that pretty much have the same interests, getting whatever kind of groups or some, you know, or just amongst ourselves having each other, on the shows and stuff like that. Because
Oh yeah.
I'm really big into the biodigital convergence as well, and just so many other topics that need to be, people that know what they're talking about really putting it out there and taking the time, and I know everyone's
Right.
busy nowadays. That's our biggest hurdle right now is um, being able to have synchronized times to, do these kind of things and make them worth people's while. That we're not just going to bore them like we really can, you know, uh, especially people that
This
are seeing it, seeing
this would
issues.
be a good channel for you to drop in the chat for other people to look at later. But we're gonna get side railed into the plasma fires unless you scroll through his videos and look for anything on like Sky Dragons and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and
Because
and
he
I,
does a lot. He
we
does a
don't
lot of.
have to do that, but let me type it in so I can be more specific, I guess, on his stuff. Is this no? This is one plasma fire compilation. Let me just kind of scroll through here. Okay, he's showing more on the trees and stuff, right? On this one. Okay.
Right. Yeah, this one looks like it's all plasma fire stuff.
I can type in it. Does
That's the
he?
right channel.
Does he? Does he call it dragon? Should I just put in the word sky
Yeah,
dragon?
yeah,
Plasma
yeah. If you
sky
can search
dragon.
his channel, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
think
Let's
so.
say. Let's say plasma sky dragons. Plasma. Now, what's kind of you're more into certain things, so I can kind of keep that in the back of my mind when I'm talking with you, and things we can really look at that you're interested in learning in. I can go through some of my stuff too. You really probably would, gravitate
Yeah,
towards, I
I
guess.
think when I first joined the panel tonight, I told you I think that we're at the time of speculation. Like we need to, we've gathered enough pieces and we have enough brain power that we should really be speculating. Wild, you know what I mean? Like, hey, this is speculation. Throw your wild speculations out there, dude.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and see
I would like,
what
I would
lands.
like to speculate on eclipses.
Yeah, 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 and man, the way they made it sound, with when they were launching the rockets, they pretty much were saying we want to launch these rockets. I think it was April. It was either April 8th or the September one, the solstice in September, and I think it was because I talked with uh oh man, I talked with Run Boston Bear when he went and set up. Yeah, I talked with a few people, but yeah, you notice they didn't make much of a fuss about. I'm gonna play this one right now. I really want to see what this is about. But yeah, while I'm playing this, I'll tell you it just made me so curious because they made a big fuss about it and then put the National Guard out like in different cities, and told us to, get stuff together for at least 2 weeks just in case. And I'm like, what the fuck is really going on here? And yeah, it had to do it with the rockets they were going to launch, but they said they were going to launch it in that direction into the uh, lunar eclipse, which was like, okay, I've never heard anyone say that.
And then never release any footage that they
And then never went, yeah, never made a big fuss about it. But then we started seeing all this shit going down. Yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah,
I
that
do
kind of
like what
hurt
you said before I joined. You were talking about the chance of retooling the observatories to become projectors for Blue Beam. I
Yes,
really like that idea.
yes, yeah, they did. They did. I
Because
have
that's
the
really, I
research and
mean,
everything.
and everything can run the opposite. In other words, like you can put energy into an LED and make the LED light up, but if you put light into the LED, you can get energy out of it. So like everything works backwards like that too, man. So yeah, you could take something designed to look at the sky and use it to project it in the sky. Sure. And I don't know if you heard, like a couple of years ago, they raided an observatory. It was a solar observatory
Uh-huh.
in like New Mexico. I think they
Okay.
observed something they weren't supposed to see or whatever, and they got raided and shut down. As far as I know, that was the last day of operation. They shut that fucker down or took it over, whatever they did, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way they turn these observatories into a special project, right? Just to get this was the beginning of simulation tactics, right? And once this project, once they upgraded and uh, Operation Moonblink, at a certain point, they took it out of the public eye, just like they do everything else, right? And it went dark, right? The
Right.
dark budgets, and they were feeding
Yeah.
money into it that way. And I've got some research papers and white papers that confirm all that. But then after the project was done, they also went and took certain technology back out of it. Okay, and they replaced it with the new stuff. I think that the technology that came back into it that they took out was the studies they were doing, right? What they could see, what the public bought about, seeing the ISS, and then started going digital instead of analog, right? And so that's where
Yeah.
it's at now, and it's very, very advanced. And that they've got it down perfect with your perfect what they call molographic scans. It's your molecular makeup, right, of your eyes, especially. That was the big when it first started. It was getting the eyes of the person's size, the thickness of the cornea, and yada yada yada, right? And they got it perfected to where the retina, right, where the information of light went into the retina and then crossed into the back of the brain and then flipped up and down and read perfectly, and then it was put back out through a projection out of the front of the eye. So this is how they matched up at high elevations, right? Because there's really nothing behind it to say how far away things are. And the eye can't really tell the difference. So if they put
Right.
something against the background at 100 miles up and it's, your eye reads it as 2 millimeters across, you, you can't resolve things like that very good. So now that the
Right.
simulation is big and they can give you a headset, right, to look through and project and perfect the makeup of your eye, it tailors to your eye personally, right? And yeah, it's that in depth now. But the things we see up there could just be a very, very sophisticated projections. And they can add things in there. But here's the thing that I had trouble with at this point of my studies was, you know, what can they pass off, right? If we start to say that we're up there in they have lunar rovers and this kind of thing, right? What I had problems with was there were already present items outside of the natural thing. Okay. And I was finding the evidence for that, right? And then also amateur astronomers that were tailoring, taking out the chips, right? Of the things that the government puts in there and tells you where and the times where Jupiter is going to be, Venus is going to be, and they use that type of technology, very advanced chips, to where you can layer the images, right? And it's you can convince people that would know better that yes, this is where things are in the sky, right? With the
Oh,
latest
yeah.
technology. But when you have people starting to disassemble these things and have been to school for engineering and astronomy and stuff like that, and then coming together as a community and saying, no, 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 check this out. Look at this. This is the real deal, right? And I started seeing this kind of stuff in like plasma. I was getting big into plasma physics. So at the intersection of where they were perfecting projections, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and plus augmented reality, plus um, extended reality, what they call it, and mixed reality. So they've now projected in the sky for a long time what's real in the astronomy world, right? And now that I'm catching these things and getting the paperwork for, the intersection of when it went from analog to digital to all these mixed realities now. Um, yeah, and if you're good at catching these things, you can show people, and I'm starting to amass a lot of studies. So uh, yeah, I just need like-minded people now that I can introduce this kind of work and files and papers to, and really show it. And but I need people like you to introduce me to people like this now that I see he has almost perfected what he's doing and layering it or showing the layering, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. It's amazing. And so,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
brother.
but I hate, and I'll land the plane here and get your thoughts on this. But what I really hate, and I hate the word hate, but what I hate is that everyone that has been in a community now for a while, a truther community, I guess, with air quotes, right? Um, and everyone is saying, or not everyone, I take that back. A lot of people are just saying it's all bullshit, right? It's all fake. It's all bullshit. Don't buy any of it. That's dangerous, bro. Because yeah, we there are some things that don't add up with um some of the things I'm seeing now, and don't want people to just give up. And
They're
yeah,
they're
it's
doing
scary.
that through two methods. One is overload, and the other one is muddying the waters. Right? Those two things will make you say that. You know, just to
Yeah,
get away from looking at everything. What I would
yeah,
suggest
yeah,
is
it's
like
scary.
take the most important few topics and isolate them and work them out.
Yes,
Don't let yourself get distracted by 100 new events. When you're focusing on three, stay on the three until you're comfortable and move on.
trying to get to where we see a little bit more. Okay, he's pointing here. I'm gonna make this just a little bit little, and so I can show you how I do my thing here. Okay, so if you see on the left side here where my mouse is, this whole row
Yep.
here, okay, is let me just scroll down for you. These are my babies, right? What I do is I'll go research and get out all the files that I can that's current for one kind of study subject, I guess you could say. And in this instance, it was um, the ISS project portfolio locations in the US, right? And what I'll do is I'll go find all the valid papers and citation sources, links for videos, and I will study what I can there, right? I bring it over here to my Copilot, where I've been using this for about 2 years, right? So this thing knows me very well as far as what I ask for on these files. You know, I can get the most, and just different fashions, the most important points from each file, each paper, each docu-series, I guess you could say, webinars,
Sure.
and so what I did here was the evolution of the observation and simulation, right? From moon blink to sentient world simulation, which if you don't know,
Yeah. Good.
do you know much about sentient world simulation?
Yeah, dude.
You know, okay, cool. So, I just did that, and I just, I drop file after file and thing after thing, and then what I'll do after about a good 20 references, right? And then I'll bring it for a deep dive, what's called a deep dive, and where it says down here, where it says think deeper, that I always use, then it's got the deep research option, right? So I'll click on that, and then what I'll do is I'll say, hey, Copilot, we need to do this X, Y, and Z with all these files and all the research I've done up to this point. And then I'll say, you know, do the deep research. And every deep research paper over the years, I'll make it about anywhere from 12 to 20 pages, right? And then I'll put that out. That's what I put out. And I'll go over it in my lives, or, I'm getting better at that. And so,
Sure.
and then, um, I just have to get input from you guys, or what you think I could do better, or just if you have anything to add to that, right? And that way we keep each other honest, and we just put it out that kind of research, at that point, and just to as many people as we can. So, I do use AI to do the deep research part, and I think it ends up pretty good. I mean, they're pretty in depth, pretty deep. And this one right here, you know, I will drop in the when I do the ending here. And I don't see much on this. I'm going to go back out of this one, um, or we could listen to a little bit. But okay, he's looking at the sky in color. That's good. Yeah. Do you have any types of cameras or things like that? Do you ever think about that kind of stuff, doing your own stuff like that? Yeah, this is good here. I like this. You can
Just
see the layers of the
I've
sky.
I've got some footage from my own security cameras that I would like to share with the world. I just haven't gotten around to like making a compilation of them, but to do observations with my eyesight, no, not. I'm not gonna do
All right,
active
I got you.
recording or whatever.
Well, I want one of those Sony A7s. Have you heard of those? They're a full spectrum 4K camera, and
Nope,
I think
haven't
they're
heard of
better
those.
than the Nikons, to be honest.
Oh
Let
wow.
me show you one video here, and I'll come back to this guy here in a few minutes. Let's see. Um, this
Stop
one.
whatever you're doing right now.
Go to artlist.io and save up to 40% on any annual AI plan with Artlist end of year sale.
Yeah.
Software, specifically the
Okay. So I'm going to show you a little bit of footage. You may have seen some I post on my page. It's the night sky. And you can see all these things flying around. I don't know if you've seen them yet, but I will play one on this one. Okay. Let's go to right here. But yeah, I'll drop this one if you're interested in the final version over here on the right. It's
Okay.
pretty deep. But yeah, I'll definitely drop that
Cool.
for you guys. Yes, sir. And I know you said you couldn't be on long tonight, but I don't if I'm going too far with it, you just tell me you got to go, and I'll probably end it after that. But I will definitely want to show you a couple videos here. Let's see posts. This guy, it's his name is Scanner Guy, and I'll get his number. He's got a number on it. It's like 1968, I think. But Scanner Guy, yeah, his guy goes in deep. He's not a flat earther, but he is very curious about what's going on in the sky lately. Um, yeah, so I get down with his stuff because he's honest with it, and he does it live a lot. Um, so I think you might like this guy as well. Anybody that's interested in the sky, I vibe with. Okay, here we go. Let me play this, and I'll stop yapping. I'll make it big here. Slow it down. I think it's sped up a little bit. See that one? Do you see those little things? They're not all bugs. Trust me. I'm gonna slow it down for you.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know.
Okay, good. But the full spectrum A7, it's a low light camera, so you can see everything, bro. And this is slowed down, so you can see this okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. And there's some more. I just wanted to show this because there's a lot of.
Oh yeah, I was seeing these a couple weeks ago, right? Yeah.
Okay, let me slow it down just a little bit more because it is going by pretty quick.
Yeah, they go fast, dude.
Here we go. Yeah, look. Okay, and they just disappear in midair. It's
Right.
like there's no clouds. Oh yeah, he really slowed it down there. And that one just was real bright. Just want to see just in one one shot here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is just a tiny, like a tiny, tiny piece of the sky, you know.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's just, I mean, and I've been seeing these things for so long, and but when I, I listen more than I talk until I go live, and then I'm like, yeah, but I listen to people just say it's AI, and and it hurts my head, right? Because I know there is some bullshit out there, but when when you take the time to really, you don't just blow it off, right? And you say people are nuts for believing that or something, and and
Yeah.
you use the logic that we tell everyone to use, right? We're always like, man, flat earthers are so, you know, they use their head and they just don't buy it, you know. But I think it's gotten to, maybe there's not enough people given this kind of stuff, you know, and being honest and giving the guys channels and stuff, you know what I mean? And so when you take your time and you just don't cut people off or make them sound crazy on a live show, you know, and you know, give them the floor for a second, you know. And anyway,
Yeah, dude.
I, I'm pretty passionate about it. I guess you can tell. So I'll
Yeah.
get out of here, and I will go to this guy's channel. I keep doing that. Why do I keep pulling up my? There we go. Yeah, let me just show you. He just got a brand new Mead. Like I think Mead, the company went belly up and went bankrupt. So they had to sell all their stuff at like a government auction, and they sold it pretty cheap. And the guy got a brand new 12-inch Mead, and he put his A, like where they hook onto the bigger Mead. Let me show you real quick. There it is right here. See how he sets it up? He puts his A7 on there, and he goes full spectrum with it. Oh man, it's beautiful, beautiful stuff.
It's cool.
Yeah. And he does it in a lot of different areas too. So it's not just kind of a standard thing. But these short videos like this, like just kind of read it. It says this one's 264 meteors, but we know it's. I mean, the government's admitted, like, and that NGOs have admitted, yes, they have super quick, like unmanned things in the upper atmosphere. So I mean, it's not all of it. I think it's space based. It's, you know, just low Earth orbit based in a lot of these. But he's not a flat earther, and he calls them meteors. So you know, uh, it's all good. You know, not mad at the guy for using his own
Oh no.
terminology. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But some people take it that too. You know what I mean? They're like, oh man, this guy's crazy, man. He calls them meteors. He's crazy. You know, but
Yeah.
I don't know if
You
people are
can still
crazy
learn
because
from it. Yeah.
yeah. Let
Just
me
like your
right
music
here.
channel.
All right, I'm gonna mute it. And yep. So this will be probably, it's a 12 minute thing. I'm gonna put the speed back regular, and this will probably be the last video. So if you you know want to put in some commentary here, that'll be all right with me. If not,
We had
all
Justin
good.
Johnson and Lord Racer in the chat.
What's up, Justin? Yeah, I can't see the chat, so maybe you can keep me informed on that. Justin, well, that's good,
Yeah.
buddy. And you said who else was here?
Lord Racer.
Lord Racer. What's up, Lord? Yeah, they actually he got together and sent me a book for Flat Earth Whisper. I don't know if you've got his book, but it's a very good read so far. I'll put it that way.
Awesome.
Yep, and sent some big wall art, you know, some huge flags, and I just got my back room studio done and all that. So I just bought a projector. So that's kind of where I'm going to be doing my lives from now on. So you guys will get to see my famous face. Um, Not really famous, but you see my face. and I will be more friendly, I guess you could say, more in the crowd. Yeah, man.
Cool.
Y'all are always welcome, dude. This I think and I've known Justin for a long time, like, and I've got to know y'all now. So um wow, look at that. You see that one? That left a trail there. That was beautiful. Let me rewind that just a little bit. It was a big bright one. Look at that. Damn.
Oh yeah.
Left a whole line there. But yeah, some of these just come out of nowhere, and it's really interesting to get people's opinions, because I feel I know well enough that these are very close. Every one of these dots are
Yeah,
very
dude.
close, and I
Yep.
think maybe like 100 miles up there, firmament is super cold, and it allows for what we know as superconductors, right, up there that will stick.
Right.
And I think that
Yep.
these are stuck in quantum lock. I know the verbiage, everyone isn't cool with quantum, but that's all I know to call it, right? Quantum locking,
Yep.
and
That's what I was gonna
they
say.
know their
Quantum
place.
locking. Absolutely.
Yes, and God put them in their place. And the ones that move up there that God didn't put in place, we know more than likely man and technology. There's maybe not a man in those things up there, and they're just messenger little bees. They as above, so below. Under us there are tunnels, and high speed rail that we know about. That's mag lift, right? And there's plenty
Yeah.
of people to attest to that fact. And um, you know, there are whistleblowers. Maybe they're not uh, all on par. You know, uh, there's so many people that want to steer you the wrong way, and they might not give you all truth. And we just have to be discerning people and use our best God-given, judgment. And yeah, and we just, man, there's so many things that we can fight that we just have to be smart enough to know what to fight, how to approach it. Wow, look at that one. Did you see that one? That was huge when it was very far off. I see sometimes in the daytime when he uses his A7, you can see the little ones, and there's a lot more stars you can see. It's like, at dusk. And wow, see that one?
Sure.
That was beautiful. So yeah, I think the ones that don't leave a tail are man-made, and they boot scoot. I'll tell you. I mean, to go
Yeah, dude.
from side to side, sometimes them things zip across within. I won't put it on real speed, but they'll zip across within like 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
Right.
And
The few
I
frames.
mean, yeah. How fast do you think that might be in regular speed? There's one
Ooh.
little one. See that
Probably.
one there?
I would say supersonic, so something above the speed of sound, probably 1,000 miles an hour or more.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they can exceed up to like 3, 4, 5,000 miles an hour. I'm sure
Yeah.
they got now. Let me. I don't know what's going on with this. Let me skip that. Oh yeah, I'm about to take that class too. I'm doing a docu series. I don't know if you. I think I've mentioned it a couple times, but it's about me and my journey with the studies that I'm talking about now, and plasma-based technologies, and just a lot of files. It's, I mean, so dense in files. And I put out a lot of what I mentioned, where I do multiple merge topics together and just do like a 20-page final master study, master class. And that's just the stuff that gives all the links, it'll give all the sources. And so we can help educate each other in the things that are on Front Street. You know what I mean? Things that not are all,
Yeah.
yeah, but are always in our face. And uh, so the technologies. Um, need to
We
be.
have a new joiner in the chat. Sue Finelli joined us.
Finelli, hell, man, I haven't seen Sue in so long. Welcome, Sue. Thank you for being
She
here.
said she got
Yeah.
night vision goggles for Christmas.
Oh, beautiful. How is she going to record some things, maybe? Sue, I
I
would love
don't
to see
know
some of your
if
work if
they're
you do.
goggles. She may not be able to film through them. It might only be to look through.
Okay, fair enough.
I got
Wow,
a
look at
nice
those.
set too, man. Military grade night vision
Huh?
optics. I'd be willing to give to somebody in the truth community.
Oh, nice. Brother, listen, if you, hey, if we could trade off something, if you want, I would love to get an Sony A7 like this. And this guy teaches as well how to tweak your stuff, right? And
Yeah.
so man, that thing just disappeared and reappeared like from here. Oh man, that was wild. But yes, Sue, I would be interested in to ask, are you local to Georgia in any way? If so, I would like to team up with you because I know how passionate you are as well with this stuff. And
I
we could
believe Sue is
exchange
in
contact
southern,
info.
I believe she's in California, probably Southern
Okay.
Cal, if I remember.
Oh, nice. That'd be beautiful weather. But the fog, can I ask you, Sue, is there any truth to that? And if so, I just did a show, my last live was about that. So um, if you're interested in watching that, it will give you quite a bit of info on the what the fog is, and from one of the leading guys that have been doing that type of study for a long time now. Let me go on here, and he really laid it out yesterday, and I learned so much about swarms, and I went and did a deep dive on that. With it's called edge computing and fog computing. So what the edge computing does is it's basically uh, computational stuff about reading the body area network and your biofield. So your
Right.
plasma output and the energy you're putting out, that's handled a lot with the tech of edge computing. And then the fog computing is as a next step and a fail safe for the edge computing. So it was weird, the terminology of fog computing, and fog being, I think, code for what you're breathing in, right? That thick
Yeah.
fog in California is a perfect example of what, yeah, why they call it fog computing. I think
Feels
just
very dark,
deducing.
very demonic, dude.
Mhm. What are we watching here? We're watching two pros making love. It looks like picking each other's brains, literally. All right, close this out. I think I watched some of that the other day. Smart birds, by the way. All right, now let me go here and, but yeah, let me go back. It's Scanner Guy 1968. This guy's got bukus of work, so I just wanted to mention that. Well, I go over here to the comments and say hello, 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 hello.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove this and put our big heads up here. How about that? Look a little better.
Woohoo! Big heads.
We made it. Hey, I actually got my I'm up tonight and got my little hat on. These are the savior for me. Yes, that's the
Nice.
savior for me. And yeah, yeah. So I lay in my bed, bro, at night, and I go, I go wild with the research, and just mentioning that I'm gonna put up here. Second here. Let me go to here we go. Bam. All right. Now I want to give you guys this. Where do I go to? I think I can go right here and just click here. Now this is the studies and all the deep dives and all the um, how do you say it? all the sources and links and stuff like that. It's got some good video links in there as well. And let me move it right over here. Comments. Jeeps, hello. Welcome. She's a trooper, man. I think
Yeah.
we'll get along good. Yeah, she's a very good asset, I think, to the
I
foundry.
see her everywhere too, man.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. All right, I'm gonna paste it here, and I'm gonna probably take my ugly face back up off here, so y'all don't run away on me.
Oh no.
Oh no! Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Well, my thumbs don't work too good, but yeah. So I broke my neck, if y'all don't know, back in 2005. So it's been 20 years, man, in this chair. Or should I
Damn,
say in this
dude.
body, in this meat suit. So I've had to make ends meet, in ways that have molded my character and made me very humble towards people,
Oh yeah, dude.
life itself. And so yeah, man, but it's given me a lot of duality or dualistic um, in mindset with physical and with the metaphysical, right? And
Right.
the metaphysical just came to me in a way that um, plasma and the biodigital convergence like blew my mind, right? And it put me in the seat of the driver of um, you know, the sky, the ether, and the etheric um, therapies, man. And I say that in a way that probably don't make much sense, but you know, knowing that part of me, my energetic signature, is here at all times, but it's also can travel instantly, right, through space. And
Oh yeah.
that's really cool to think about. Yeah, but go ahead. What do you think about that wild claim?
Oh no, you're absolutely right. That's like I ask people if they ever had an out of body experience, and I have people tell me no. Dude, what do you think you do every night when you dream?
Yeah, that's a good
Seriously.
point. That's a good point. You're always connected to that, but you're always separate in a way. You know,
And then
especially when you
I
have
got
the
another one
vivid
for
dream.
you. Like
Yeah.
I'm blind in one eye and probably
Oh,
10% in
same
the
here.
other. So I'm almost nearly blind, right? But
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
when I dream,
Perfect.
both eyes work perfect. Absolutely
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Rose. And when you say that to certain people, they can't see it because they don't have that. They don't
Right.
have that inner voice, and that inner dialogue, and that inner interaction with like right now with you, bro. I'm interacting with your lion head in a way that you know when your voice hits and it right away, I'm feeling that vibration. I'm in that frequency momentarily until my mind processes what you say, and I have a way of hopefully having conversation with that. But you could say at the same time you're in your physical body, but your vibration, your frequency that you're relaying to me is metaphysical. You know,
Oh,
it just means
absolutely.
extra physical. All right.
Yep.
So people can't say there's no metaphysical because everything outside of your meat suit is metaphysical. You're translating it,
That's
right,
a fact.
in
Yeah, dude.
in a way that people can't deny that. So um, it's
That's
it
kind
just,
of
and
like,
when I found that out,
the other thing I pointed out to people, RG, is that some people go their whole life waiting to see a miracle. I want you to process that for a minute. A person
yeah,
could live their whole life into their 80s waiting and hoping to see a miracle, when truly, absolutely, they've seen one nearly every day.
yeah, yeah, in
They
some
look
way,
right
in
past it.
some way,
They don't see the
yeah,
things that are miraculous happening around them. They're waiting. I don't know what they're waiting for, man. Like, does it have to have a sign come up? Okay, the seed that just sprouted, that was a miracle. Like,
Yeah,
I want
absolutely.
you to
Absolutely.
conceive something like you look at an oak tree, a 200-foot tall oak tree that's probably a few hundred years old, right?
Mhm.
Could you take that oak tree and put it in a walnut and put it in your pocket? No,
Hey,
well,
if you,
God did.
yeah, you look, not really, but you can try up here, to do that, you know.
That
Yeah,
whole
and
tree
God
came
did.
from
Yeah, God
one
did.
walnut,
And God,
one walnut, dude. One nut, dude. One acorn,
yeah,
whatever. You know what I
yeah,
mean? One nut,
tiny, tiny little, yeah. A guy, hey, listen,
dude.
and it ties in to the to the to the movement of the toroidal system, that pressure pushes and twists at the same time. But the plant and the seed wants to get to that sun, the information the sun's given so bad that it
So
overcomes
bad.
that downward push, that pressure. And people want to call that gravity, man. Have fun with that, right? Yeah, so be it.
Well,
That it's a word, but by God, it shows it in the toroidal patterns in the Fibonacci spiral everywhere, everywhere.
yep,
And some
yep.
people, however they deal with that, that's cool. Yeah, I know the truth of it, so it's easy for me. But to the concept of the sea, though, super is it's I don't know how much you watched of the live I did the other night, but it shows in the under the microscope, right? The point of the 0
Mhm.
point, and where they call it a black hole and something. It's the twisting, right? It's the toroidal force and pulling things into it that that to where it connects, right? And it starts to build. But the miracle, I think, is the directions. The miracle is the directions are built into that initial toroidal. It's pulling in certain things, and it shows under the microscope that once it gets a couple of building blocks together, it just sprouts, on its own. And so I think that the fractal verse, from the big to the small, God has put information in it as it goes down, as it
Oh,
scales down.
absolutely.
Everything has
Absolutely.
direction, and so there's nothing chaotic. It's a chaotic movement, right? But it has meaning, it has purpose. And so when we get to this point, we have a physical body and we're conscious. Our consciousness wants to make sense of things, right? And so
Yep.
it's like people struggle with that, and I struggle too. But when it hit me, when it clicked, it was something that I just couldn't put back in the bottle. And so the miracle is the seed, yes, and the forces that give that life, um, when it unfolds, it gets that water and it unfolds. That seed was just like our body; it's holding something in, right? And when we let that out with through water, right, and through
Mm.
intention, that's all that's needed, bro. And it does its own thing. But there's something called
Yeah.
collective consciousness, and you can't stop it. And it's beautiful, right? And the people need to know
Yeah.
that, right? And be able to trust the process, trust how life is unfolding. And if you don't, and you fight it, you you might find yourself in a pickle, right? So,
Yep.
yeah, man. I think
That's
that's
it, man.
I think that's how I feel about it. And I don't think I don't get the this is I'm just starting to get this channel to where I want to talk, be honest, and just show what I found out, and what I've studied, uh, and hopefully it helps somebody. And if it does, I've done my
Yep.
job, right? But it's getting that time. It's like 2 seconds to midnight, and and now I see a lot of people waking up, and it's now we need direction, right? Now we need organization, because if not, we're gonna fall apart over little arguments, right? Um,
Yep.
and hopefully I can help people. Look, my ear just sticking out there. Yeah, I think my ear got caught or something. I flopped that Dumbo out there, you know. Yeah, man, but it's been good talking to everybody. And if y'all have any questions, please ask. This guy here is a genius, man, and I feel like I can, you know, answer some questions as well if y'all have any questions. But what I put in there is it's a culmination of many hours condensed down, right? And yeah. Oh, I want to drop one more. Yeah, but yeah, you go ahead, Mr. Super. If you have anything you would like to talk about, I'm gonna get
Well,
this
I'm
other
glad
link.
that you had me on. I love to see that come on and share with us. I appreciate you, man. Really do. It's awesome.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, bro.
And if you ever need to
It's
get a hold of
yeah,
me through email or whatever, it's my screen name at gmail.com. Real easy.
absolutely, man.
You mentioned the
But
other
you
day you
know,
wanted a way to get a hold of me or whatever, and yeah, if you ever
yeah,
need me or whatever, you shoot me an
yeah,
email.
I'd love to share some things too. Um I don't know if you know Jay. uh, Um his name is Jay Dreamers on
Yeah,
YouTube, on X. Okay, cool. Because I was gonna talk to you about his books, and I'm writing a book as well. So I, I'm I just want as much um what hits close to home for me, and then what I'm doing is I'm writing a book, but it's in the fashion of um not like it's realism, it's real, but it's how in a wheelchair I've had to um come to terms with what I've found out, right? So I
right.
lived 23 years up walking, working, and doing biking, having a very good time. Yeah, I had two boys before my accident, right? And so it was interesting raising them the best way I could while I was recovering, right? And also
Right.
the same time getting on the computer, which I never did. I'm 43 this year, so I was at the beginning of YouTube and like Windows 95. I was you know um, and then
Yeah.
when it got to, and so that was the one of the things I could do with my kids, right? What was technology when I never intended on, I was a physical worker and I had like a MySpace, I think, with, you know what I mean? Like I started a MySpace account like after my accident, and I used Paint. And so I learned to use my hands the best way I could, right? And
Sure.
technology was the thing we could learn with and play on and play games. And um, so I guess I'm a rare person in the truth community that has a severe disability and uses AI in a way that isn't what I think they're trying to do with it. They're trying to run these companies, these mega corps with and govern things, right? They're trying to govern things with AI. And now they have the capabilities with these quantum computers, right? And I think people have the wrong impression. What with all the world's major governments having one now, a good one, and what they're finding out is they can go in these different alternate um, dimensions or realities, and grab things out of it, and then how the double slit experiment, things don't exist until you look at it, is what they say. Well, that's what quantum computers do. People don't realize it. They're reaching in, they're grabbing
Well, I don't
things,
know.
and then
Gordy Rose said that right from the start, and he made it sound like you could go to another dimension, mine something, and bring it back. But
absolutely.
he never expressed what that might be. And what do you do? Are you stealing from that other realm? Is somebody going to get pissed about that? Like, what are you really bringing back when you're talking quantum scale? Anyways, even if it was gold, it would be a speck so small you couldn't see.
Yes,
So The
and
idea
but
of mining
they're
from
running
another
these
dimension is a
Mhm.
bit far
the
for me.
the capabilities now. See, used to they could only do 3 or 4 qubits at once, right? And it was a major thing to
Yeah.
keep them cool enough to where they slow down enough
Yeah.
to where you can peer in and then snatch something, and those 4 would snap into place, right? And then you see the information on the computer screen, right? It's just
Yeah, I
digital
don't think you can
bits.
get anything
See what
physical.
I'm
I
saying?
think it's just information, right?
Right. Well, this is what they're doing now. They are able to run multiple amongst not just their country, but everyone's country at once. So they do these major, CERN type of facilities, and there's several of those. It's not just CERN, guys. There's a shitload, and you'll see that in my
Yeah.
studies. But so
Yeah,
what's
there is.
happening is they're coordinating now. They're coordinating to where it's in real time, and they're using the very advanced simulations as well with people's real minds attached to these. It's called TENA, TENA. It's military grade simulation, right? And they're using negative refraction at the same time to turn back light, turn it around backwards, right? To where it's flowing, and you're getting this stuff like it's lighting things up inside people, like it's weird shit, right? It's science fiction, but um I make a lot of sense out of it, and I'm gonna do a live on one. Hopefully they'll leave it up. I'm gonna go pretty in depth with what they can do
Crazy,
now,
man.
and in microgravity and high altitudes they're also using these organelles and organoids, right? And they're doing a lot of tests up there in these huge airships, right? That Lockheed Martin and people have now, and they're going commercial with those, by the way. And they're going to start carrying people for a high price. But um, the one of these senators bought one, right? It's not like the big, huge Lockheed Martin 3 wide, like football fields 3 wide and 3 long. The length is like a football field, but they're using those to carry things like 80-ton objects, back and forth. So yeah, if you start seeing new big ass mega structures being built, they have that capability to lift that kind of shit and carry it long ways.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
man.
but
Right.
with all that said, bro, I'm gonna drop some bombs, man. That is pretty interesting shit. And yeah. Anyway, I won't keep rambling, bro. And everyone in chat, thank you very much. You guys are the backbone of these types of talks, and um, do what you will with this stuff. But did I drop the other one yet? I don't think I did. The comprehensive. Let me copy this and
Jeeps
drop
was
it.
asking what you thought of Jay Dreamer's books.
Oh, they are uh, everything I thought they would be. And I do like the apocalypse idea, but I think that where he's going with it is the time scale. I don't know when he honestly thinks that, with the timing happening, within the 138-year kind of cycle, like the other guy. Shit, I know him pretty well. I forget names. Um, he's on YouTube a lot. Anyway, there's a cycle, right, that happens, and the
Right.
plasma and the gases that are pressurized underground, right, that erupt every now and again, and these, uh, and they're erupting more often, and these bigger ones are there seems to be some movement, but the middle of the realm, if those three, the septentrio, and the seven accompanying mountains that form what is called the septentrio in the middle of the realm, if those erupt truly like it looks like all of history and the artwork and everything represents that, yeah, there's like a plasma apocalypse. And then the architecture, these huge mega structures, right, with antennas and the resonators and everything, all the bells and whistles that would seem to say that yes, there is a higher plasmatic atmosphere after these major eruptions, right? And the plasma makes this center of the sky of the firmament, right, crack open, and this is what the the old mythological things are about in the Bible, I think. And if he's right, then and it happens every 138 years or around that, average, I guess. Then yeah, we may be alive to see something like that, and it may be pretty fucking devastating because the last one seemed to have melted half the realm.
Right.
So, so it might get pretty interesting, bro. With
Yeah,
this,
buckle up.
and then I think the smart dust, if they do know about these cycles, the government and the corporations, then they are, I would say, extending technology because it's really small now, and they can get it in us, right? And if this happens, we're going to be like batteries for these people, and I think they already are siphoning our energy in ways, through media and all
Yeah,
that.
dude.
Yeah, so let me share this. But yeah, that's what I think about his books. They are super interesting, and I've yeah, that's why I bought them because I thought they would be excellent, and they are. Yeah, yep. Harmon, hello, sir. Welcome, welcome. I'm about to drop this link. If you guys, I don't know if you have to download Copilot to read this stuff, but it's through Copilot. And I don't know, Mr. Super, have you tried to open any of this yet?
No, I have not.
Let me. That's my AI. Okay, but yeah, you say you haven't tried to open any of that yet.
I haven't, and
This is
I'm
what
on my phone, so I really couldn't do it now. I could try it from my computer afterwards. Wouldn't help you
well,
much
this is
though.
what it. Yeah, this is what it'll look like. Right here, and I can. These are just my projects. All this, so I can take this down. But this is pretty much here. You can pick, right? If you want a quick response, think deeper. That's one I use all the time. You got this one I don't use. I've used it once or twice, but I don't want my information in ChatGPT's system, and it's for good reasons. But and then you got the deep research. What I do, after I collect a bunch of files like this stuff here, like this is what I was doing earlier. The what does it say? Okay, so it doesn't. You have to do on this one, but this is the files I downloaded just yesterday. So what I can do is put up, files here, and then I tell it what I want out of it, right? After I've already did that, and then I could just hit this, just to give you an example, and it starts processing, and it will separate and give me the breakdown of the file, right? And then what I
So
do,
Harmon Walker joined us in chat, and he said he clicked on one of the links and it opened right up for him.
awesome. That's got a lot of research, Harmon, that I wanted to just give you guys so you can go through in your good time. And if you have anything to add to it or mention to me, I just do the research and then narrow it down to the most usable information, I would say. And then it has all the sources and links in it as well, so you can see where the information comes from. Right,
Well,
so
thank you for having me on, RG. Appreciate
yes,
it, brother.
sir. Hey, thanks for coming on, man.
And everything.
I
All you do, man.
I
I appreciate what you're doing for the community.
thank you, brother. It's something that I think I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it was important. You know what I mean? So
Right.
let me go back here. But I didn't get to go through all these here tonight. But basically, what I was talking about Harmon in the beginning, if you want to rewatch it, you can. But basically, we were talking about some of these dark entities that we see flying in the air, and you get to see some of those videos. Let me minimize that. Let's go here. And you get to see some of that, and then I got on the subject of some of the stuff back in the 60s. There was an operation called Moonblink. It says, okay, opened up. Okay. But Moonblink was where they went and they had built 11 different stations, what they called Operation Moonblink, right? And the locations of the, let me go over here. I think it is, where do I was about to go? There's paperwork, right? We'll go over that another time. But the point is, they went from all of this physical analog type of system, right, of things that they installed where they could project, I think, I'm pretty sure, right, the ISS up into the sky. And these 11 stations, as they went across, could use either the telescopes that were modified, and they also had they had mentioned stuff about high altitude platforms and planes that could use, let's say, holographic and augmented reality. So us down here, it would be believable, right? And then they just perfected that over the years, doing stuff like this, simulation stuff, right? So, and it also, there are reflector technology up there in high altitudes, right? And they are able to reflect things. It was called reflect orbital, right? They can light up, they're like mirrors. And when they're angled right, they can shine light at night down onto down onto communities. And they did it for large areas. So they have paperwork that you'll see in some of this work I did that showed, yes, they perfected and had very specific technologies to light up huge, like areas, like huge, I don't know, like citywide type of shit, you know. And it was working hand in hand, the technology on the ground and technology in the sky. So now
So
it's
what
just
were they
simulation.
reflecting? Were they reflecting projected light or sunlight, or what were they reflecting?
Let me go to it and I'll show you exactly where I'm at down here. Yeah. So they were reflecting light from the sun, for one. When the sun had already set, this stuff was high
Yeah.
enough to get where they could angle it down onto
Yeah,
the
that's
ground.
why I was asking. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I would assume they would do.
Let me show you here. I don't know what I've got on here now. Let me go over here. ISS. There we go. This is so, I mean, I love doing this stuff. So interesting. Sorry about the background noise. It's my bed. I'm on a air mattress, so when I move it. All right, there's somebody back here. I'm gonna bring them up. I just heard a beep. So give me 1 second. Where are we at here? Is it on Google? There we are. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up. It takes me a second. My hands. Who's back here to? Was it here? Oh, sorry. Where did I go to? Why am I? Okay, let me go down. Maybe down here. There we are. Harmon, come to the stage, sir. Welcome,
Hey,
welcome to the
I thought you were clowning me. You're just going to say, "Oh, I can't get him up." Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. You're good, brother. You're welcome.
Yeah,
Anytime, bro. Yeah.
you reminded me of when I was in Turkey in the Middle East. You know, they have a custom over there. If you come to someone's house and visit, you know, this is way before internet and stuff like that. You used to just to go knock on doors, and hope they're gonna, visit your friends.
Right.
So
Did
in
you
the
run
Middle East,
off?
they have a custom. They have, huh?
I thought you were gonna say you knock on the door and run off.
No. And so what they do is there's a custom over there, so it's unwritten. So when you go in, and in the first 5 minutes, if they offer you something to drink, like over there, it's always tea. If they offer you tea, right, within the first 5 minutes, that tells you that they're busy, but you can drink up and go. But if they don't give you a drink for like 15, 20 minutes, that means you're welcome to stay. It's a custom they do over there, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, look, I'm gonna have to start giving you some tea, bro.
That's
Send
what
you
I thought. You were
send you a
giving me
packet.
tea down there already.
Awesome.
That's what I say. You remind me.
Let's skip the tea.
Well, I had a question to you. If there's an opening here, I started
ahead.
thinking about the sunlight today. You were just talking about the sun and made me think something. That's why I want to come on. These guys are taking the picture of the sun. Now we know with the filter over it, we can see just a tiny little dot up there, the size of the real sun, the sun that we see, right?
Right.
But
Yeah,
the light makes it look bigger, of course. But when they're taking pictures of it with their cameras and their telescopes and all this stuff, they're not taking pictures of that little dot. They're taking pictures of that little dot light.
corona.
Yeah.
Right, the scattering light around it.
Yeah, so I just started thinking, I saw these guys, oh, look what it does. You got these sunspots. We can measure it. It's round. We can tell. And I started thinking the other day, and this is, you guys give me your opinion. They're not taking the picture of the sun.
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah, well,
right
it
or
was-
not?
Say who is it doing it again with the?
There's lots of people. Yeah, from
NASA,
Triple
you mean, like
Control
they're-
to Austin,
Yeah. Mhm.
all these guys,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they got these
Yeah.
great fancy telescopes. But I started thinking, they're not taking the picture of the sun.
Well, if they're not, all they're
Taking a
doing is
picture
they're
of the
getting
corona,
a
the
certain.
light around it.
Is you see what I'm saying, Mr. Sidewinder?
They're getting
Yeah,
a
I
certain
agree with
frequency.
that, Harmon, for the most part. Yep.
Yeah.
I say
What
for
do
the
you
most
think?
A lot
part
of-
because most, like high-end solar filters, like in a telescope, do put a complete black dot in the middle. But you can get solar filters that are like welding lenses that are transparent all the way through. So it would be possible. But I do think that most of the footage out there is with the dot style that you're talking about. You're
Yeah,
just
but they're
seeing the
not
glow
taking the
that goes-
picture. They're not taking the actual picture of that sun, that little dot. You never
No.
see it. It's always the light. They're
If
not
you think
knocking
about
off
it,
all the
Harmon,
light. And am I
when-
wrong on that?
When you got completely in focus, wouldn't that light like burn up the inside of the camera? I don't care
No,
if that's a CCD
no, not with the
or a
filter,
film
not with
or
the filter.
whatever, but why? Oh, not with the filter. Okay.
Yeah, if they're taking
Yeah,
a picture,
solar filter.
like you say, you take a welder's mask, right? And you close it up.
Right.
I used to do it as a kid, and I can't remember now because my grandpa was a welder. I used to put on this mask and look. So it
Yeah,
is
me
that little
too.
dot, right? We don't see the glaring light through a welder's mask, do we?
Correct. It's a
Well,
dot.
you see a well, how do you say it? You see a uh, there's infrared and there's a lot of
Right.
different spectrums. There you go. You're seeing
But I'm saying we
one
just-
aspect
that tiny
of the
dot.
spectrum.
That tiny dot, when these guys are taking pictures and showing us pictures of the sun specks and how like even like Austin used to say, before he came back to the, where did he go back to the globe? I can't think of his last name now. What was his name?
Austin,
Austin,
Melodome. I
Yeah,
forget his
Melodome. And so I'm thinking the other day, just hit me. And I'm just thinking, they're not really taking pictures of that little dot. They're taking pictures, the light caused by that little dot.
Yeah.
Okay. I
And,
see
and,
what you're
and that,
saying, yeah.
isn't that true?
Well,
Seems right.
and also you gotta think these guys are zooming in super far into it, right? So it gives that illusion of it being big, right? So it is fairly small and pretty far away, yeah. When you see the little dot, yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
you never see pictures of the light or any of those sunspots when they do that. The filter has to be just enough right that you still are looking at the brightness.
Yeah, because
that light.
just like the moon, when you get at a certain point zoomed in, it just looks like a bright light. But then when you
No,
zoom
not
in
the same. Not the same.
past- okay.
Well, isn't the moon the same size? Isn't it a little dot too, Mr. Sidewinder?
Yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's the same
You have to-
size.
you have
So
to
we're
zoom
really
in.
never taking a picture of the moon.
Well, I'm kind of getting a little confused when you say it's not. You're not taking a picture of the dot. But I beg to differ just because I think when you get super far in, zoomed in, then you're seeing the physical. Like it
Nothing
seems
can
like
zoom in. There's no,
Right.
we don't have the cameras. You're getting lost in space, like in the heliocentric model, a little bit confused. We can't zoom in on that little dot. We don't have the optics to do that. Show. I went and looked on the internet, looking all over. When you look in that little dot, it's always just a little black dot. No one ever zooms in on that little black dot.
You mean the black dot as far as like a different? It's on a different spectrum setting. It looks
No.
black instead of like.
Do you
bright
understand,
yellow
Mr.
or white.
Sidewinder, what I'm saying?
I do.
So
I can't
yeah, we're
explain it
not.
any better for you though.
So yeah, so we're not taking pictures of the actual sun and moon. You're taking pictures of what the light it shoots off.
Yeah, that's what I mean by a different spectrum. Because if you look at it with your bare eye and sunglasses, it looks white, right? Like it looks white. But then when you get a good camera, right, and you have it on the solar filter, it looks black. It looks black because it's a different. It's a transformer, so I think it's a cold, and when its true color is black, I think. But then yeah, you're right. When you get it in a different spectrum setting, it looks yellow and white, and it has little black dots on it.
And that's
Is that not what you
for a
mean?
second, I can't tell you. I did hit me. I could be way off. I'm just saying that little dot, all these telescopes and all these super cameras, they're not zooming in on that little dot. They got filters to take pictures of the light.
Right, the different spectrums. Yeah, because
It's not different spectrum.
different wavelengths. There you go, different wavelengths.
Not even that.
little things.
It's just a light. It's just the light. The sun we see, you know, that's not the actual sun. You can't see. It's like if I take a flashlight, put it right in your face, you're not going to be able to see my flashlight.
Well, I see what you're saying. You're saying there's a
that's what we were
source.
saying earlier,
There's a
too. We don't-
source light, like the source light, the original, and then
The
Right.
origin,
it
the,
came-
the starting point, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
You know,
Let's call it.
you
source.
can't like if I
Flashlight.
like all those stupid cops and all those videos that shine the light inside people and shine it on their phones when they're trying to record their stops and stuff. You don't see nothing but the light. You don't see the flashlight. You don't see anything else but the light. That's what I'm trying to say.
Got you.
So we
No
don't
doubt.
see the source. We just see, so whatever that light's putting out, making those sunspots and stuff, to me, they're saying that that's the actual sun. To me, it's
I've
just
got
the
some
light
I'm gonna
of the
show you.
sun.
I got something.
What
I'm
do
gonna
you
show
think,
right quick.
Sidewinder, on that one? Did I say it right?
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna show you
think so.
something I watched last night. It's on my history, and it's got the sun, but it's got it in all the spectrum, the different wavelengths, and some are green, some are yellow, some are like blue, some are black, some are just black and white, and then you got infrared. You know what I mean?
This guy here says in your chat, he says, the sun looks like a perfect circle with a solar filter that looking into a telescope. Who said that? Jeeps? Yeah, I know that, Jeeps. I'm just saying, when we actually want to see the size of the sun, have you ever seen Jeeps where you just go on the internet and look for the actual picture of the sun through a filter, and it's a dot smaller than your fingernail, than your tiny fingernail. It's tiny.
Yeah, because when people just point their camera up at the sun and watch it go over them, like overhead and then down to the horizon, like it looks big. It looks like it's a big thing with a lot of rays coming off of it, and then it's really not that big. Yeah, you have to put the filter on to see how tiny it is. Yeah.
No, even the filters they put on to film the light isn't knocking you down to that little dot, because that's all you can film.
What
There's no one who's filmed that little dot, but set for what we
I got a
see.
question for you, Herman.
All right.
Where do you think the source for the sun is? We talked about it earlier on the stream, and like the two options would be like the middle of this realm, like a projector, or outside of this realm.
Well, in the morning time, I keep looking at it for years. This is from what I learned from Antonio. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember Antonio or not. He died about 5 years back. Subarats,
I
do you
didn't
not know
it.
him? Anyway, so there are two lights. We know there's the light that looks like it precedes the sun in the morning, lights everything up, like the back of a house. It lights everything up. So I think as it circles us, and I'm going to say it circles us, right? Because that's what we see, right?
Right?
And the light circles us, just like picture like the yin and yang sign, right? And that light
Yep.
source is circling around us. And
Yep.
everything in the world, everything in nature is in a vortex. Is that not?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Everything,
I believe
rocks,
that.
water, anything, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
why isn't the ether that's circling us with the light in a vortex, and it gets its power from the constant vortex and generates the sun in its hot spot?
He's talking about like nodes, like the nodes, like on a rodent coil or something.
Well,
and,
it's
and,
just
it, and it powers
it's-
it. It gives it a lot of power.
that's like if you look in that yin and yang, where the thickest part of the light is where the sun is. When the sun
Right.
when it comes up in the morning, so
It's
it
more
goes
concentrated. Yeah.
and so wherever the hot spot is, what do you call a node? That's
Yeah,
just
like
what
a
you. So
node.
that's where I think it comes from. I think nature, and everybody says that this is trying to always hide God, and I think that's a stumbling stone for all the religious people, and I know you guys are, but I think they're hiding nature. I think they're hiding
Sure,
the
that's
power of the
right.
nature. That's where I think I go past the God thing and what nature does. And I think that's the vortex that's going across us. We're in a vortex. Why is everything growing a vortex? Because we're in a constant vortex in the world. The
Yeah.
ether, like
Yeah,
this,
and everything grows. Yeah, all light
because it's
goes like that.
constant pressure.
Here's-
It never leaves.
Here it is. This is it. This is what I was going to show you. Right
So
here.
that's
Can
where I
y'all see
think,
this
Mr.
okay?
Sidewinder, do you kind of understand?
Oh yeah,
What I
I
said?
agree with that. 100%. Yeah.
So I think that's where the power and source comes from, is the power of a vortex. We know the vortex has the greatest power, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So the vortex, we live in a vortex, but it's not not like in a
Here's-
science fiction
You're
movie.
talking about that this isn't the what's natural. This is
It's
the
EM,
effect of.
it's the EM field, which is why it doesn't always move air and it doesn't always move water. So you can have a calm lake and you can have a calm day, but the etheric energy, the electromagnetic
Here it is.
energy is moving in
Here's
this
that what I was.
vortex.
Yeah.
Pull it
And
up.
this
I
is a
can't, you haven't
vortex.
brought it up.
What?
I can't see it.
Hold on, watch this. Oh, you can't see it. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me come right here.
Carmen, just so you
and-
know, Jeeps is a girl, not a guy.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
Must
yeah.
be a good looking
Okay,
one. That's a cool girl to have a name like Jeeps.
I know that's right.
You got to be cool to be having that and be a female.
Can y'all see this now? Y'all can see this
I
one.
see it. Yes.
Okay, this is the video I was telling you about. Super. This is more a higher def. Well, damn it. But let me show you the outline. What I was telling you, where it looks. Check this out. You see how it twists right here? So this right here, this little thing right here, you'll see the movement, and on the sides of it here, you can see where it's displacing things, right? And it'll show you more right here. But this is by the sun, by the way, as close as you can get. Damn, Harmon, I wanted to show you this.
I see it.
This is very interesting. I'm going to let it play with sound.
Video that I posted somewhere else the other day. There was a comment made, and somebody was saying that this was one of the probably
Which was-
most incredible things I've ever seen on the
This right
sun,
here.
near the sun, around the sun, since I've been observing the sun and studying.
But right here, Mr. Super, this right here where it cuts this in half, basically, like this area, you can tell it's more dark right here. And right up here, I think this is where it gets to where it's like the sky we're used to seeing, right? And then it gets real dark right there because all the energy that the sun's putting out. But I'll let it play. I'll stop. Yeah.
Thing we call a star for over 15 years. I've used this instrument right here, the SDO, the Solar Dynamics Observatory, where I found this thing back in 2012. I did the
Solar Dynamics Observatory. You guys check that out because it gives you a lot of info.
original banner. I want to show you guys the banner that went around the world many times. It was this banner right here. I made that back in 2012. This was a classic. You can even tell that the high resolution is not there. What's up, Susan, Official, Berlinda? Good to see everybody here. What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday. Well, anyway, this is the banner I made. So when you see this circulating the globe, I made that banner back in 2012. But listen, I want to share something with you guys pertaining to this video that I posted somewhere else the other day. There was a comment made, and somebody was saying that this was a normal occurrence, that it happens thousands of times. I couldn't believe it. So we're going to turning towards the Earth. This is, like I said, one of my favorite.
There you go. This is the observatory website I just told you about. So these are different wavelengths, Harmon, where you can kind of see
websites right here with regard to.
You see what I'm saying though? Like it breaks it down.
Monitoring the sun. There's the sun in black and white. You can see these active regions and sunspots. Revisit like once a year because it's such a classic. I mean, it's so rare. You don't see it active in 2010. And I've used this instrument probably every day, at least every other day since then. I've used this multiple times. There was no.
All right. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of show you that where a good source to kind of look at things, you know. I don't know how real it is or whatever, but this is a high detail picture that tells a story. And
a picture of what?
You see this little curve right here?
Oh, I see that. But what's that a picture of? The whole thing?
Oh, this is sun, and this is
How about if it's like just the sun's light? It's not the sun.
Okay, sun's light. It's the sun's light.
I don't think you can take a picture of the sun.
Maybe not. I don't know. But there's different wavelengths for sure of it. And
well, I know that. I'm just saying. Right there is a picture of the sun's light. Just picture a flashlight. You're not taking a picture of the flashlight. You're taking a picture of the flashlight's light.
Okay, I get your point. But this right
so
here.
That gives me a whole new thing. I just figured this out a few days ago. I could be totally wrong, but because I was looking at the thing. So I understand that, and your story still can fit, but just think. No, you're looking at a power source that the light's shooting out.
Yeah, and I think it's transforming this energy from a different location. Like it's there, but it's not, like you're saying, like it's transmuting energy
it's exciting the ether.
Into this visible light. Yeah. And so I think it's coming from different, like a different space that we don't live in.
And for my sense, I would say it's all electrical in nature.
Yes.
Right.
Me too.
But so all these guys doing this, saying that the sun they're taking a picture of, I don't see how it's possible they're taking a picture of the sun.
I got you. I'm gonna play it while we talk. But yeah, this
and
thing.
I like Miss Jeep said a few things. She says God is nature and they're hiding the cycles. And she says the source of the sun is like a plasma tube. I call it a filament. I've been calling it a filament since 2017, Miss Jeeps.
And do you know about Birkeland currents, Harmon?
No.
Birkeland currents that flow through, I think they flow through, the Birkeland current is part of this spinning vortex, right? And I've got some shit I want to show y'all, but I don't want to try to call it fake, please, because it took me a while to get this kind of information, but it looks like a tornado shooting light out everywhere. It's a beautiful picture, but anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I do definitely think the Birkeland currents carry these currents that connect to everything. Yeah, in the upper atmosphere, like low Earth orbit and a little above there. And
hey, I got one agreement in in the chat. We only got 7 people here, and that's 3 of us right here, so 4 more. You know, so I wish more people would come to your channel, but of course,
me too.
We don't get
It'll get
notifications. No one ever gets notifications usually of anybody.
So check this out. It's spinning there. You can see the spinning happen, and it's what it does. It just jerks loose once it's, see that? It just flies off. See that thing?
But you're in your mind, it's flying off of the sun.
Just check it out. Check it out. Well, it's flying away from my energy source. Let's put it that way. Check this out.
You've showed this one before. Seen it.
I put it on my X. I think I've showed it.
Didn't you put it on? Didn't you show it on Vlad's one time?
I think I told him about it, and he may have showed
I
it.
think
Yeah,
you showed it one time.
I got you.
Yeah,
It's just
all right, there.
a classic.
Yeah, so it's been out there for years, right?
Oh yeah, yep,
Yeah.
definitely. I found it last year, and I kept looking at it. I put it in like video editing software and like changed the skew. I changed it, and you could see more and more detail to the left when you start messing with the levels. So this is totally different than where the energy source is coming from. Like it's a whole different. You can kind of see a little bit there, but yeah, it's cool shit though. Yeah, guys, I was gonna wrap it up here, but if y'all want to say anything before we go.
Well, I'm just saying, to me, right now, you're just showing that, and people are saying that's the sun you're taking a picture of. To me, no more is it a picture of the sun. You're taking a picture of the light, and that's a power source, which makes more sense to me. That power source, which is electrifying the ether, that's just some of its energy shooting off the ether. I mean, just charging the ether or whatever. I don't know what the black thing would be.
It's kind of I think the way it's shaped, since it is circular, you don't have to be spherical, but definitely circular. I think it's being bent by the magnetic forces, like a pretty strong. So that's why I call it a node, where I think the energy and the Birkeland currents cross right there, right? And as it transmutes and all the energy of the oscillations, it makes it move along. Right, and I think that's what's going on up in the upper atmosphere, in my opinion. So I don't know everything. I'm learning, still learning. Yep. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for coming on, man, and keeping me company and carrying on with my weird mind.
How about you, Sidewinder? What I said, is it new to you, or you thought of that before?
I had to step away for a moment. Repeat it, please.
About
Unless it was really long.
that we're not taking a picture of the actual sun.
Oh no, I agree. That's entirely possible.
I was telling Harmon, I was telling Super, there's the guy Scanner Guy 1968. Yeah, you can look back at it later, but if you go to his channel, and he's got a full spectrum 4K. It's called a Sony A7 camera. Right?
Yeah, I know what they.
And I think it's better than the Nikons, in my opinion, because what I want to do is start recording as well. Get a stand, and right out here at my apartments, I've got a good sunset shot, I think I'm gonna start recording right after sunset, and try to get some shots with a Sony.
No, the A7, if I remember right, that's like $3,000 just a body, and then the lenses are between $10,000 and $14,000 that you need to get. So it's out of our reach. That's the ones they're using to take those the 8-body, the A7, and then you could get a simple lens. And then you'd end up like Mikey, just taking, inferior pictures with inferior equipment.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna steal it in my wheelchair and take off like real fast. like catch me if you can.
Bloom County. You remember Bloom County?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's in the wheelchair. The creator's in the wheelchair.
Yeah, he's wild. You know, they
Yeah.
did some stuff on Jackass. There's a documentary about wheelchair soccer. Well, it's wheelchair rugby, really, and they call it Murder Ball, right? It's the nickname Murder Ball, and they MTV did a documentary on these guys, and they followed them throughout the season, and you know, they won. They're in the Olympics, wheelchair rugby, and they just knocked the shit out of each other, man. But the reason I bring that up is because what they did, Jackass, got with these guys afterwards, and they were like putting Johnny Knoxville in a wheelchair and like ramming him into shit, you know, and beating him up in it. And it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Lucky those guys lived.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
all the
I'm lucky.
dumping
I'm
things.
lucky I lived. Dude, we broke our neck in a very serious, like a lot of pressure. I mean, just hard pressure. And right here at about this level, I have no vertebrae. I have a cage
Yeah, that sucks.
connected my C4 to C6.
I just
Well,
can't
it sucked.
imagine what you could
It
do
sucked
if you
for a
did
while.
if you weren't in a wheelchair. But if you weren't in a wheelchair, would you taking your time and learn this stuff? I don't know which way it would have gone,
Right.
you know. So
Bro,
you might still be out there jumping ditches and stuff on your bikes, you know,
Well,
on your
I'm
motorbikes.
fortunate. I'm very fortunate, bro, to have lived both lives, right? Like 23 years up working, walking, having a great life, you know. And the first couple of years were hard and the ass sucked and all that in this chair. But bro, I thank God every day that I could just do this kind of stuff. And like I'm like 2 inches away from being complete like vegetable, like you know, like the buddy,
Yeah, not
you know.
talking or anything.
Yeah,
What's his
you know
name?
that.
What was that guy's name?
Yeah,
Stephen Hawkins. Stephen Hawkins.
yes, Stephen Hawking. Yeah, that's my hero.
All right. Thanks a lot. I'll let you go. You've been trying to say goodbye a couple times. Sidewinder, nice talking to you. And Miss Jeeps, that's a cool name. All right. You guys take care.
Dude.
That's what's up. Hey, appreciate you
Thanks for
coming on, buddy.
Harvey.
Have a good night. Yeah, man.
We're gonna
I'm
blast
gonna end
too.
with a song, bro. It's one of my songs. It's called "Wake 'Em Up." That's the name of the song. So I'm gonna end it with that on a good note. So
You're welcome to
This
use
was it.
any music from my channel. My whole channel is music.
okay. I have to go look through that then because I love music, man. Artist at heart. So yeah, man.
All right, brother.
Thank you for that.
See
All
you
right.
soon.
Have a good night, buddy. All right. Take care.
You too.
All right. Let me go find the song here. Let's go to YouTube and yeah, and thank you everybody in the chat as well. You guys are going to be the ones to help me build it. You know, if y'all come back and check out, I've got like 2,500 videos on different all my playlists together. You know, they add up. So I would recommend that if you guys are newer at some of this information. And I put actually 2 files in the chat in the comments. So that's what I was kind of talking about tonight, and it gets a little bit deeper as well. Let me find my song here. But yeah, that goes really deep. So I think you guys will enjoy that. Let me get this song going and I'll get in the comments and make sure. I got to go back to where I was at last night and make sure that you know, I answer any questions and stuff before I'm completely gone. It is almost 3 a.m. here and I am feeling it. Yeah. I'll start laughing a lot when I get sleepy. Goodness gracious, where's my song at? I might have to just go to a playlist here. It's been a while since I played it. It was last night. So if I don't find it here in the next couple, then I will go here because I don't want to keep everyone. But yeah, let me just go to where I was at earlier on my playlist. Here we go. Playlist. Here we go. Where is playlist? Music. And not recently added. I'm getting turned around, y'all. It's late. Let me go down here. It's probably down here. Yeah. Here we go. Or it may just be on my liked videos. Watch later. Oh, it's not. There we go. Okay, now we're set. I had to click on it's my videos. So my first song is, where did I go? There it is. Okay, so let me just play that. Go here. There we go. Now I can play it. Okay, here we go. Thank y'all. When the song ends, I'll come into the comments if y'all have anything to add or any questions. Okay.
I've seen love turn into hate, seen flesh tempt men. In the belly of the beast we crave breath, then chase trends. But I just want to see anxiety laid to rest. Doubt, give a chance, let failure mend what's left. Invest the best me, give it all I can.
Let me restart that. Okay. Now we're good. Let me come add it to the chat. Add to stage. Right.
Love turn into
Thank
hate,
you.
seen flesh tempt men. In the belly of the beast we crave breath, then chase trends. But I just want to see anxiety laid to rest. Doubt, give a chance, let failure mend what's left. Invest the best me, give it all I can. And I know I see a faithful youth in the end. See, my heart was open, music planted deep within. Now I'm trying to let it out, speak love times 10. The universal language, the first word.
If anybody's here, can y'all hear that? Because I think last night, they when I looked back at the end, the song didn't play. Wrench your regulars, RG. Yes, sir. Gotcha. Hey, and let me know if y'all hear the song. Okay, I'm gonna play it now. And if you can hear it, just give me a thumbs up or something. Just to let me know.
I've seen love turn into hate, seen flesh tempt men. In the belly of the beast we crave breath, then chase trends. But I just want to see anxiety laid to rest. Doubt, give a chance, let failure mend what's left. Invest the best me, give it all I can.
Are y'all able to hear that song there? I just want to double check. Sounds good. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jeeps. Let me put that back on. That way I don't ruin it for everyone.
And I know I see a faithful youth in the end. See, my heart was open, music planted deep within. Now I'm trying to let it out, speak love times 10.
The universal language, the first word spoken. I see now how it feels, what was once so broken. In this world, man, it needs some action-packed burn.
Move with intention, let these lessons be
heard.
Yeah, I know we swerve, sometimes we hit the curb, but it's time to strike a chord, time to shake the earth. Gotta wake them up, Folgers in the cup, serve it fresh every morning. Tell me, who do you serve? And be mindful of the things that you take in. The mind is fragile, let the devil in. Increase within. Somebody please put on the 20s, take a step back, detach from the lies they spin. The truth hit me like a heart attack, but in the light I see he's real,
and that's a fact. So I'm screaming out, let's start again from the mountaintops. Let the healing.
Some don't know him, some want to learn. Some have been lost, some live his word. I'm on a mission to show my love will stay. Triumphs over evil any day. Maybe I can show you a way. Maybe we can pay for a new lane. Ain't no need to live in chains. God promised a brighter day. Now take a second, close your eyes and just picture a world free from the system and the fixtures. Alpha-minded, got my hands on the scriptures. Gripping real faith, middle finger to the critics. Pushing limits past the lines they drew. Ain't no hocus pocus, just the truth and what I do.
You got life, then go and live it. Remember, wisdom's earned, it ain't it.
So I'm sifting through the sands of time, trying to buy back what I lost, but I can't rewind. That's why I sit up at night, let these words ignite, praying every verse I write shines a little light. Once I was lost, once I was found, twice flatline, still the grave can't hold me down. Only 42, but I seen enough to know the struggle's real, but the fight's a must. Most of us just love the lust, minute by minute, itching back in the dust. Somebody wake up, time won't wait. This clock don't stop, it won't hesitate. Some don't know him, some wanna learn. Some have been lost, some live his word. I'm on a mission to show my love will stay. Triumphs over evil any day. Maybe I can show you a way. Maybe we can pave a new lane. Ain't no need to live in chains. God promised a brighter day. In this music now, tell me what do we say? Talking about a life we ain't even trying to portray. Man, I swear
the soul is getting paid while we lose the youth to the games they play. But there's a way. Yep, there is a way.
There's a way.
It's God Himself. Ooh. All right, all right, all right. Good night, everyone. Much love. Let me come back and give y'all some daps, dap you up. All right, I'm gonna move this one. Put my big head up here for a second. Thank you all for being here and hanging out. Your boy, hey, listen, I'm tired, man. I'm gonna get to bed, and Roger is going live for after. Okay, so he's gonna be up for a little bit. Okay, room raid. Okay, yeah, we can make that happen. All right, yeah, I can do that for a few minutes. So, yeah, man. God bless you all. If I don't see you over there, I'll see you maybe here next time. Right. Take care, guys. Have a good night. I'm gonna put up the